Have you been looking for home technology upgrades but don't know where to turn? Online information can be contradicting and confusing. Lincoln's own experts at Diode Technologies can turn your living room into the place to watch your favorite sports. Whatever your vision is, Diode Tech is ready to make it a reality. From home theaters to outdoor entertainment spaces, they bring you along through the entire process to make sure you get exactly what you want. If you're ready to upgrade your entertainment space, visit Diode Tech online at diodetech.net or give them a call at 402-793-5124.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Hey, this is Jay Foreman, the host of Old School, 3 to 6 p.m. here at 93.7 The Ticket. And one of my favorite things to do is come down and meet all the fans before and after as they cheer on our beloved Huskers.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
Need an adventure? How about the bright lights of Vegas? The magic of Orlando? Or the sunshine of Orange County? Now you can reach them all with new flights from LNK on Breeze Airways. Stretch out, relax, and enjoy the flight. Your vacation starts the moment you board at LNK. Book today at LincolnAirport.com. LNK. Make flying easy.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at SauterHeyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln, this is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln, Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped and picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Hour 1 of Old School is sponsored by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. Another week of Old School starts right now on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you, as always, by Graham Tire Company. I'm coming. Thursday oil change. It's on the books. It's on the schedule. Thursday. Carl will be guzzling oil. We'll be waiting front for Kev.
You're going to be riding dirty after that, boy.
They see me rolling.
Yep. Lean in. Let your gangster lean.
Hey, speaking of hating, what was all that before? We got some major talking going on over here.
Jake Sorsby came in with that Dolphins propaganda. Talking about they're back.
He thinks he believes it this time too.
Anytime you have 13 draft picks,
13,
you're expansion team.
Jay, that's a quarter of the roster, potentially.
Expansion team.
13.
They better keep all them dudes that they don't keep on the active roster on the practice squad.
That's a bunch of draft picks.
Yeah, let you know they don't have no players.
Kind of reminds me of the Brooklyn Nets in last year's NBA draft, keeping all 5 of their first rounders.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is. I mean the draft was little underwhelming, but there were some hidden gems in there. And it was a very interesting draft.
And we will talk about it. We'll hit the Nebraska angle, we'll hit the your team's angle. But first, Jay, Eric on our text line. Let's see if I can maybe take a step over here. Look, oh God, nope. That monitor came unplugged. All right, well, plug that back in a minute. Eric sent a picture of his burger. His ribeye burger.
Oh, I know it was. I know. I mean, just him saying it, I knew it was going to be on a popper.
Yeah.
And Eric has enough. He got enough stuff to him that I'll say stuff, but the S word I want that I know he knows how to grill a burger. Congratulations, Eric. I'm proud of you.
He did the homemade
Young-
fries too. They're pretty
Young
good.
Jedi Knight. I like those.
Oh yeah.
You know who I not personally learned, but I saw, TikTok and my guy, the barbecue guy.
Mm-hmm.
But then I saw your boy, Ronnie Coleman do his.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he could barely move around. How he seasons his steak is not very good, but how he makes his potato fries or regular potatoes is pretty cool.
Well, see, that's the thing. You take bits and pieces from every master,
You got
right?
to.
No one can master everything.
I got a new chicken thigh recipe that can't wait to. Well, as long as it tastes good, but it's something to add to the game.
Mm-hmm.
That'll take me to a whole nother level. I'm for real, and I'm hyped in a mug about it too.
From Pro Bowl to All Pro.
Yeah, guaranteed every year. I'm like Ray Lewis. You know, as soon as the Pro Bowl comes out, his name's right up there every year, no matter what.
Eric says, appreciate it, Jay. Soak them fries in ice water, pat them dry, add olive oil and salt and pepper.
There it is.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, and then you can take them on. I like season. I take some, season them some way, some the other. I mean,
proprietary blend of spices like
my dad used to do it, but I don't. He just was making. I was just killing them T-bone steaks. So yeah, and I think when you do that versus like getting fries out of you put in the oven, I think it could be the same meal, but I think it tastes a little different. A little spice.
Mm-hmm.
Get the kids in there and try to make them cook. Try to teach them survival skills. Can't survive nothing. Can't survive nothing, boy.
Dad, the microwave isn't working.
Oh my God, what is this?
Dad, why does the oven say it's 350? I thought it was supper time.
Right, exactly. Hey, you got to put a sticky note. Turn the oven off. Turn the burners off.
0159. What makes a barbecue master a master? Did they go to barbecue university? How does one come by the title?
Experience. I don't consider myself a master. I think the guy that can grill, at least smoke the best in Lincoln, from my experience. That's just me. Somebody that I will tip my hat to all the time, and I text him about stuff, is my boy Dell.
Eric texted that just before he said his name.
Yeah. He's listen, when you smoking bologna, okay, listen.
Bologna.
Look, you smoking mystery meat, brother, and it tasted good. I'm telling you, I've had it before. So yeah, he's. And if I had the rankings, now I haven't been. Now, like I've had a couple different stuff, other places. He's up there. I'm gonna tell you this though. Went over there and saw our boy Chubb over there.
Yeah.
Chubb, if you listening, that catfish off the chain. That fish. Hey. You know what? Yeah, that's the best in Lincoln.
Woo!
No doubt about it. It's the perfect. It's cooked. It's the perfect blend. It's cooked perfectly. The perfect amount of breading and seasoning. The collard greens was busting too. He wasn't there, but I went in there on like a Friday or something. I said, let me go in there and just pop in there. I think it was a little cold on Friday. Friday.
Oh yeah.
It was, man.
Warmed you right back up.
Yep.
Let's see here. 2086. Did Dell used to smoke meat for the gas station at 28th and O?
I don't think so, no. He just does it. I mean, he just does it. He just loves to cook, man.
Love the game.
Yeah, he just loves it. I mean, I like it, man. Every day for me is a grilling day. Every day for him is a grilling day. You find a way.
Grilling is a mindset.
If you got to get a shovel and get a space out there, and then kind of, put the plastic wire or plastic wrap around your if you have a smoker so that you don't get electrocuted and stuff. You got to do what you got to do, man. It's all worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scott and Lincoln, any former players that you know of or played with who are barbecue masters?
Oh, like through, now I'm going to tell you one dude. Now, he might, not necessarily, he is a barbecue master, but homeboy can cook. And this is verified. So I would put him a little bit above Dell just because I've seen him do so much variety of stuff. And I'm talking about, I know Dell can. So listen, I'm talking about Big Ted Mount Washington. Okay. He could cook from breakfast to dessert. barbecue anyway, and it is hitting. Ted Washington for sure. For sure. John Fina for Italian. I mean, I went over his house one time, and big shout out to his son. Got signed to Buffalo. Probably a big special moment for him. John Fina, he got us over there, and he has a restaurant. I think he's down in Phoenix or Arizona, and Italian restaurant. I think maybe a family business or whatever. Man, he made everything from scratch.
Ooh,
it was a process. It's serious. Hey, listen, when he opened the door, had the towel on his shoulder. He was at work.
So,
I got one for you.
Okay,
I got one for you, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get fooled by the tough guy exterior. All right, it's not necessarily barbecue, but I'm gonna tell you somebody that can cook. Right, is Jason Peter. Straight up, I think his dad.
Okay.
I think his dad ran a restaurant, so he grew up like helping out around, and in there. And I can speak pretty. I feel comfortable speaking for him that he's back there doing the peas and stuff like that. Homeboy can cook. He made this. I need to text him. It was like, is schnitzel? German?
Yeah.
German? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hey, and he was. Hey, the thing is, we went and we were on a little getaway or whatever. Trip with some guys, and he got in there and had his stuff. He was in the kitchen working. Oh yeah,
towel over the shoulder, sweat on the brow.
But let me tell you something.
Full apron.
It was hitting.
Yeah, just like him.
Yeah, but you never would think. But man, he can cook, man. I know that for real. I mean, that's for real. He can cook.
My man says, Jay, the best meat I ever tasted that was smoked. My old boss there was a head pro at a golf course in Arizona. Do a 10-foot hole, wrap the meat in burlap, put it down the hole, bury it for about 12 hours. The next day, pull it out. Like cooking in the ground. Talk about survival skills.
Yeah, that's some old.
That's caveman.
Yeah. What's that movie that had that they filmed here in Nebraska, and then where there was it was like the Oregon Trail with a dude. What's his name, man? It was a famous actor. He took ate the fish, raw fish. He got attacked by a bear.
Oh,
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, DiCaprio.
Yeah, what was the name of that movie?
The only one that's coming to mind is Revenant, but that was more the snowy one, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that's way back then. I've had it where they cook the pig underneath the ground and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's plenty of like I said, one of the best back home in Minneapolis, one of the best places that had barbecue smoked meat. Guy had an over refrigerator, turn it into a smoker.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've seen people take old filing cabinets. You know what I mean?
Whatever you got.
Whatever you got. Where there's a will, there's a way.
I want to go back to what you said about Mr. Feeney.
Mm-hmm.
Is seasoning the meat, is the Italian equivalent of that making your own pasta?
Yeah.
I feel like it's got to be, right?
Yeah, he does. John Fina. Yeah, he does his.
Fina, sorry.
Yeah, it is. They take it serious. And if you really season your meat, you about your spice, like Strick. You about your spices.
Today is a very special anniversary for our guy E. Strick.
What is that?
Today in 2003, he got waved off for Paul Pierce to hit that bucket.
Oh yeah.
Today in 2003.
Well, you know what? It worked out well for Strick then, because Al Harrington.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Lives in infamy.
I did have to tweet it, my boy, but I got the clip right here. And
I remember it.
Yeah. Well, I'll pull it up just one more time.
Oh yeah.
Well, it pops in there for a second.
Look, Paul Pierce looked at Strick like you don't want Paul.
No.
See, that was back when the NBA was for real, right? Paul Pierce.
No reply from Strick. It's been about 3 hours. So, anyways, happy anniversary to our guy.
We still wonder where his spices went, though.
Who do you? No, we can't play that game. I want to know who took them. I don't know who could have taken them. I know it was not me. I do season my meat, but not with my former co-host spices.
Man. Looking for my bottle of wine.
Maybe it's the same person. And your cookie gets stolen about every other week?
We know that's Farley. He's a little cookie monster. I'm calling you out, Farley. And then
Speaking of Farley, he avoided disaster this weekend.
Oh my God. I was praying that somebody drafted Deshaun Singleton. If they
won it only.
It would have been epic.
There's no way he would have. I don't think
No, he wouldn't have. But it would have just been a clown show, and Farley would have been the butt of the jokes because he's always the peanut gallery as I'm walking in.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We weren't even that close. Is the shame. Right? It's not like he could get picked up.
He was. I bet you he was close.
Borderline to the Broncos alongside Dane Key.
I'm telling you, man. I think that run on linemen and stuff messes up the draft. It messed it up for a lot of players, man. The draft is very tricky. It's not exact science.
It is not.
I'm going to tell you this right now. The Jacksonville Jaguars had the worst draft in the NFL history.
In NFL history?
Listen, I think they had 4 or 5 top 100 picks. That's how you're judged in the draft. Everybody thinks you're judged off the first rounder. No, you're not. You're judged off how many picks you have in the top 100 and how well they perform. In 125, if you want a little bit more leeway, because you might not have a first-round pick.
ESPN gives them a C. Top needs linebacker, D tackle, running back, safety. They get that.
And how many did they draft in those positions? In the top, they drafted the offensive lineman from Oregon. That's probably going to start.
Yep. And then Borkature was their first pick. Their first pick of the entire draft in the second round. Number 127 on, I think, Mel Kiper's big board.
Right.
He went twice as high plus as he was projected to. Albert Regis, Jalen Husky.
Jalen Husky is a safety in a cornerback's body.
Parker Hughes.
But Jalen Husky was, 4th or 5th round, right?
Third round, number 100.
Right. And he played at Maryland. We saw him.
Yep. Took Tanner Kojal from Houston as well. And then a bunch of dudes I've never heard of.
Was he a tight end?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what they did right here, which is interesting, since we'll do it, we'll get to him in plenty of time, is what here's the story about Nate Borkature. And it's crazy because his brother is when he left, his brother's really good too. He was just a little underweight. But Nate, I remember when I'd be down at practice a few times, and remember they had all those tight ends get hurt. I think Fedoni got hurt, and
Allen was banged up,
and he was like a redshirt freshman. He was young, but I saw the potential in him. I was like, I remember I used to get, I mean, he might not remember. I used to be like, dude, don't get comfortable. This is the time for you to like take over. And at that time, I don't really think that he was probably afforded the chance, but you saw the potential in him. He's a big kid, can run better than what people think he gives him credit for. He can run just good enough to get past you. He's actually got a really good set of hands. Needs to get better at his route running. And is okay as a blocker. Doesn't really do anything special, right?
But won't kill you anywhere, really.
Won't kill you anywhere.
And that's good enough for a second round pick today.
No, it's not. But he got picked high, and that great. If there's anybody that you want to get picked in the second round, it's Nate Borkature, or somebody that's associated with Nebraska. It's better. You want Nate to do well. In a normal year, he's not a second-round pick, but either way, Jacksonville liked him. And I'm going to tell you this, it happens all the time. They might – and he has a lot more room to grow than other guys because, the tight end from Houston, probably one of the better pass-catching pure tight ends, more of a kind of a flex guy. So they got a little bit of both. You got to Nate can survive in this day and age of NFL being an inline tight end. Right? Because he did it in the best league, right? And he did a pretty dang good job.
And the second best league.
And the second best league. Well, then also he can move as well, but then allows you to have, was it Kozel?
Yeah, Kozel.
Kozel, where he can really do what he does best. And then Nate can benefit off of that.
Yeah.
And so you need more targets for Trevor Lawrence. But it's a big stretch, though, to go from 126. But it also, when you stretch like that, Austin, right? And it's also the flip side, too, right? This is also the opposite side of stretching high to get a guy is being able to get supreme value for Emmett late. So when you stretch for a guy like that, you know that you feel comfortable that you can develop him. And one of I think their assistant GM is a Nebraska grad, a Coughlin or whatever, because he was when I was in the league. He helped me get paid in Houston and Buffalo. So he'd been up to Nebraska a few times, and I talked to him all the time. So it's good for him.
You mentioned the Emmett Johnson angle. We're about out of time for this segment, so we'll definitely save that. Lots to get to with that. But UDFAs for Nebraska, Sierra Wright to Cincinnati.
Yeah, with the good connection there, and I think he'll do. I think he has a chance to make it.
Deshaun Singleton with the Chiefs. I misspoke before.
I like that.
Lost a couple safeties the last few years. Doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Dane Key and Deshaun McCullough to the Denver Broncos.
I like that. I like it. I think Deshaun McCullough can develop maybe I think, if he can make it on special teams and stuff like that, or if not, he'll be on the practice squad. I think Dane Key fits where Sean Payton's off the big. You look at the receivers, big physical guys, 50-50 balls. If he gets back to the way he played in Kentucky, which they do evaluate, he'll make some noise.
And then a couple with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You get Javen Wright going down to Tampa and Henry Lutovsky down to Tampa.
Yeah, I don't know what Tampa has offensive line-wise, but, Jason Light is a former Nebraska alum.
Well, I got Tristan Wirfs. That's a good spot to start.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about an interior at guard. The more Henry can do, play both guard spots and maybe be emergency tackle, he'll do well for him. And for Javen, it's not a talent thing. If he gets the things that he can't control, which is, I think he's got a pretty good dial in on his health stuff. I can see him making it because he fits that scheme. He's long. He can run. He can make plays. Todd Bowles will make, find a way to, have him be an effective part of the defense.
From the Bucs team website, right now, the offensive line from left to right, Tristan Wirfs, Mike Jordan, Graham Barton, Dan Feeney, Luke Gedeke.
Yeah, that's the starters. Henry Lutovsky needs to beat out one of the backups.
Luke Haggard at backup right guard and Elijah Klein at left guard.
Yeah, so
whoever they are.
Just comes in and, he's got to work his tail off and fight like heck and get as much, good tape and, he's probably need to, work on his quickness a little bit, but, otherwise he'll be just fine.
Then more in the Nate Borkature camp of things. How about Alex Bullock following in his brother's footsteps, undrafted to the NFL instead of the NFC South in Tampa? Alex Bullock headed to Jacksonville.
Yeah. I think he's going to be, first of all, he's a really good athlete when he was at Creighton Prep. Obviously he's taller than his brother. Went up to South Dakota State and put in major work where he was able to get behind good competition, and you're at one of the top FCS schools. So you have the credibility coming in. It just comes a numbers game. He can catch. I think he'll help out on special teams as far as coverage units, and if he has to return in the punt return game. So it just comes down to numbers and him getting an opportunity. That's it, man. I mean, it's when you come in as a rookie, you just gotta have a different mindset, man. It's good to, you find a vet and you try to copy and see what he does well, as far as work, but you need to obviously tread water lightly and understand that your path isn't a veteran path, that know that they're already on the team. They're working at in a different realm and world that you are. And then you got everything that you do, you have to maximize.
257 players drafted, Jay. Matt Fortuna has some numbers on it. Of the 257 draft picks, how many do you think transferred at any point during their college career?
Now, 60%.
No, just of those 257. At some point during their career.
Oh,
transferred.
60%.
According to Matt Fortuna, it is less than 50%.
Oh, well, that's still a high number.
Right about 50%.
Yeah.
Of the 257, Matt Fortuna says 127 transferred at some point during their college career. And
majority of those are like, like corners, receivers, quarterbacks. But the linemen, when you have the linemen and D linemen, first of all, there's not a lot of movement because if you play good, they're not going to let you leave.
No.
So it's all relative kind of based on, but that's still a lot though. It is. I mean, and 50% of the draft has been at probably one or more schools. That's a lot.
Maybe this rule or the exact numbers have changed. What's a scout team practice squad making in the NFL? 1982 wants to know.
They're making some bread.
Right
$13,000 a week.
Yeah, that's pretty much spot on. Looks like per week about $13,750. So it works out if you're on for all 18 weeks, just shy of $250.
Yeah, and then you know what? Now that they allow veterans to be on practice squad.
Vets can max out at
one and some change.
22.8 on the practice squad.
Oh yeah, for sure. But that's it's that that rule that came in. It came in during COVID. Remember they had McCown that he was coaching high school in Texas, and then he was on Philly's practice squad.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry about coming to practice. Just watch some tape. Just make sure you get your throws in to those high school kids.
Right.
Move over. Get out of the way, JV quarterback. I gotta take these reps. Don't hit the coach if you want to keep your spot on the team. social distance.
Easy
right?
as that.
Yeah. And you're getting paid $22,000 and your high school salary is, man.
What a gig. Jay Foreman
been a
might get back
quarterback.
into it for the love of the game. And by the game, I mean an extra $22,000 a week.
That's right.
He's Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Norman. This is Old School, brought to you by Graham Tire Company. We're going to go to break. When we get back, we'll call it Brian Munson of Husker Online. A couple interesting developments in the Cruton world. Talk with Brian next.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Some days are for errands, but those days can wait. These are for free Honda demo rides. Test ride the latest Honda Adventure, Sport, Cruiser, and Touring models to find your perfect fit. Try Honda's automatic dual-clutch transmission, DCT, for seamless shifting that keeps you focused on the ride. And check out Honda E-Clutch, designed to handle clutch control for stall-free starts and effortless gear changes. Spaces are limited. Visit Rod's Power Sports at 1030 Saltillo Road today to reserve your free demo ride. For your safety, read the owner's manual and always wear a helmet and eye protection. Honda motorcycles are for riders 16 years and older.
Every strong team needs a good game plan, and Nebraska's business community is no different. The Nebraska Chamber is helping businesses across our state grow, hire, and compete. We're working on real solutions that matter. More housing for our growing workforce, investment in infrastructure that grows our state, and higher paying jobs. It all adds up to a stronger Nebraska and a stronger future. Learn how you can get involved at nechamber.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Need an adventure? How about the bright lights of Vegas? The magic of Orlando? Or the sunshine of Orange County? Now you can reach them all with new flights from LNK on Breeze Airways. Stretch out, relax, and enjoy the flight. Your vacation starts the moment you board at LNK. Book today at LincolnAirport.com. LNK. Make flying easy.
Hey, this is Jay Foreman, the host of Old School, 3 to 6 p.m. here at 93.7 The Ticket. And one of my favorite things to do is come down and meet all the fans before and after as they cheer on our beloved Huskers.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey, Husker Nation. This is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top-quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com.
Cinco de Mayo will be here before you know it on May 5th, and Tipsy Tina's is the place to be. Come down to 8th and Q starting at 2 p.m. on May 5th for the Street Festival, featuring piñatas, giveaways, and more. Plus, see llamas from Sweet and Sassy Llama Farm from 5:30 to 7:30. DJ Joe Cruz will entertain starting at 7 p.m. with a spicy taco eating contest at 7:30. And the best part, as always, no cover charge. It's the early Cinco de Mayo Street Festival with Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, Tuesday, May 5th, beginning at 2 p.m. at 8th and Q.
At Raising Cane's, we focus on making the most craveable chicken finger meals, getting them right every time. That's why we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, salt every fry, squeeze every lemon, and brew every ounce. We do this inside every Raising Cane's, every day, because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, One love.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere air seeder during Landmark Implement's Early Order Program. Take your seeding performance to the next level with John Deere's advanced air seeding technology. Achieve precise seed and fertilizer placement. With innovative openers and section control, you can maximize efficiency and reduce input costs. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year during Landmark Implement's Air Seeder Early Order Program. Contact your local Landmark location for details and experience the Landmark difference.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yes, indeed. Welcome back in to Old School, Hour 1 of the show, brought to you by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Time now to head to our Allo Fiber VIP line, where we are joined, as always, on Monday at 3:30 by our Husker football recruiting insider, Brian Munson. Brian is, of course, also our second Buffalo Bills insider, right next to former Bill Jay Foreman on that pedestal. Brian, I asked you last week what you wanted the Bills to accomplish in the NFL draft. Did they take your advice? Did they listen to your sage wisdom?
No, they didn't. In fact, it all played out in real time. So I mentioned I wanted them to grab McDonald.
Mm-hmm.
And so they traded out of the first round, and they were sitting there staring at McDonald, and they opted for a linebacker. And then the Houston Texans traded up right after Buffalo passed on McDonald and took him. So I know that they grabbed a defensive tackle down the line from Penn State, but I mean, it's just everybody watched Week 1 against Baltimore. And you can just see the Buffalo defense not being able to stop the Ravens at all on the ground. So it's a little bit disturbing, I think, to me. You're going to go through 14 and a half, 4.5 months or so of the NFL season, and then go through the next 3-4 months, I guess, of evaluation and decide that you don't need to do anything in that area. I don't get it. I don't get it. So I know that they brought in Jim Leonard, that he's going to do something different on the defense. It's not going to be the same scheme. So maybe the bodies kind of move around a little bit and they may be looking for a different looking guy, but I don't think you can ever get away from just, having like a Dominique Orange kind of looking guy there. That's just kind of a run stuffing guy, and I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. Ed Oliver's not that guy. Ed Oliver is a penetrating defensive tackle. It's not a run-stuffing guy. So we'll see what happens here. I'm a little bit confused by all of it, but the rest of the draft I was pretty okay with. I thought they got one of the better wide receivers, and took a punter too. So what do you know?
A lot of defensive picks there, and I'm glad you brought up Jim Leonard. That's completely skipped my mind in the calculus for those picks. I'm a little surprised Jim Leonard hasn't made his return to college football as a highly paid defensive coordinator, guy that was, at the helm or helping helm a lot of those really solid, really salty Wisconsin defenses. But if you can be a defensive coordinator in the NFL, I'm sure the pay and the lifestyle make it worth it to stick at that level as opposed to dropping back down to college.
A lot of those guys that are probably at the pro level now, they're probably looking back at the college ranks going, I don't even recognize the game that it used to be, right? That I used to be when I was there. Now it's so much more a business than what it was ever before. You've got situations like the Sorsby incident that's going on at Texas Tech. He's getting sued by his old school. He's likely to get sued by his new school. He's probably having to go into the supplemental draft here very quickly. Just a wild set of scenarios. I just don't. I fault the NCAA completely on where things are today. They seem to have had the best interest of the players in mind, thinking that is where they were going to have the most support. But in essence, they made themselves almost a completely valueless organization that if you had like the SEC and the Big Ten decided to go ahead and splinter off and do their own thing, they absolutely could. They could absolutely do that. And it's just, I don't know. I don't recognize the game in a lot of different ways that I used to like really cherish it. So it's, I think a guy like Leonard's probably happy to be at the pro ranks where there's a lot more stability.
We bring you on for that. We bring you on to talk recruiting, a game that is always changing in the hearts and minds of these young student athletes. A lot of news on the Nebraska front. Before we get to that, though, Brian, one more that'll kind of to bridge the NFL gap to the high school part. only one Husker drafted again, and that's Emmett Johnson. So I ask again the age-old question: is Nebraska not as talented as maybe the recruiting rankings would say, or is this just a case again of Nebraska doing less with more once players actually get to campus?
Well, I mean, it's tough. Even like a guy like Rocco, who's a transfer in that I thought, proved more to me after he got hurt by playing banged up and showing his toughness, not getting any type of invites, not even getting an undrafted free agent deal. That was kind of strange. And that was a one and done, kind of thing. McCullough got an opportunity, but I kind of look at Wisconsin. Wisconsin didn't have anybody drafted. That's never happened. Yeah. And they were pretty miserable this last year. I think that, ultimately it's going to take Nebraska to be successful. I think for people to start viewing players from Nebraska in a little bit different light. I think Emmett had his pros and his cons against him as a running back, as a professional, the profile. I think that, you get into pass pro, you get into his size, and you don't have that breakaway speed that a Jeremiah Love kind of has, and you get those knocks, but then you doing more with less than anybody else. And you got to kind of see it, I think, with him. And I think he's the kind of guy that also, if you doubt him, he seems to kind of strive in those scenarios where you don't, like Ramir Johnson being tapped as a starter over him, 2 years ago. What happened? Huge growth from that moment, kind of going forward. I'm going to prove you all wrong. Well, he just got a massive chip on his shoulder that he can go back and do the same thing now, to all the other teams that passed on him, in the previous rounds, slipping way past where you saw that second, third running back, kind of person being. Heck, Notre Dame gets 2 running backs drafted in the first round before Nebraska's, top rusher, All-American, guy gets drafted by Kansas City. So I think it has a lot to do just with the lack of success that Nebraska is having, and just I think Emmett had a couple of classic flaws to him, but I wouldn't doubt. I'm not gonna bet against that kid. That guy to me has got the right work ethic to put any of those types of situations behind him, and he'll do the most with what he's got.
Not to make light of a serious situation, but to your earlier point, hopefully Brendan Sorsby isn't betting against Emmett Johnson either. Let's just stay away from any of those Emmett Johnson lines. Brian Munson of Husker Online with us on our Allo Fiber VIP line. B. Munson, some recruiting news. Nebraska within the last day gets a commit from another defensive back in the 2027 class, Corey Hadley. He's the number 7 safety in that class. Of course, headlined in the defensive backfield by the top safety in that class in Torrey Pittman, right here from Omaha Central. How do Hadley and Pittman compare to one another size-wise, skill set-wise, and does Nebraska maybe see those guys synergizing together in the defensive backfield here soon?
I think there's some really nice comparisons there. I mean, I think that Pittman's a little bit bigger than Hadley is, and I think, the versatility is very similar. Pittman is the kind of guy to me that's like, man, he really looks great back there as a ball hawking, can cover a lot of ground safety, but he's also a guy that, when he's playing offense, he does a terrific job. Well, guess what? Corey Hadley is very similar to that. Corey Hadley is, really probably more of a physical, hard-nosed safety, that a guy that you can kind of see playing strong, maybe moving up closer to the line of scrimmage. He's also a guy that plays cornerback for his 7-on-7 flag football team, his flag football team, and he can do his he can play corner there. He could roll to just about every spot in the secondary in Lincoln. At the same time, playing some wide receiver, getting some looks to possibly play wide receiver in college. Now, I know that Nebraska's not said a word to him or not interested in him playing wide receiver in Lincoln. So that's the first thing. And I don't think he's comfortable doing that anyway. But I do feel like the versatility and how kind of Addison Williams and Nebraska, signed and kind of sealed up the deal and packaged all this together for him to kind of consider was this versatility aspect, that it's going to be very difficult to keep him off the field just because of his versatility. Or you got to, you keep a guy on there, you can roll to different protection, roll to different coverage. Obviously, you got a guy that can do various things. He doesn't have to come off the football field. There's no substitutions really for him. So I think and I think the other part here, real quick, very quietly, Corey Hadley, took 4 trips to Nebraska. He's a guy that, I put in a prediction for him back at the beginning of March. A lot of people go, who? And I was like, this is a guy that's already been to Nebraska 3 times. Came here a 4th time during the spring. Set to come here, obviously, for his official visit in June. But has felt at home since the very first time he stepped foot on campus. So he's a very hold his cards very tight to his chest kind of guy. He's not a big talker, but when he does speak and he starts talking about how he was trying to figure out who was real and who was fake, and Nebraska and Addison Williams were definitely real to him, those were powerful words, because you go onto his profile, you don't see a lot of stories with his quotes in it. He just doesn't make a lot of time to talk to the media about things. So when he does speak, he says some really big things, and he said about Addison Williams in Nebraska. So I think the Huskers got a great one. I think that they pair up, he and Torrey Pittman pair up very nicely. I think the way that the secondary class sets up in the 2027 class altogether is terrific for Nebraska. I think they've got at least 2 or 3 corners that you could very easily say could be part of the class that will join Hadley and Pittman.
You mentioned those 2 guys playing together. Just some clarity from last week. They are intended to both be in the same class and play together. There's no smoke, no fire with the Pittman to Miami thing officially?
No, I mean, not really had Pittman come out and say anything about it. Not that I haven't been trying to reach him on it. And he's kind of gone quiet in that regard. The Miami guys said that they never saw him. They never heard a report that he was there. I think Miami obviously has a lot of money to spend, and they're gonna bring in and throw around ideas to a lot of different people, and it doesn't matter where they are currently committed to or any of that stuff. So Taylor got brought out there as well to kind of listen to them, kind of more of a business trip to see how things were. But no, I don't think there's any type of additional smoke there at all with Torrey Pittman to Miami, but we'll have to see. A long ways before December.
A couple more things to get to on the defensive side of the ball. New reports coming out today that Clemson offers a guy that you and I talked about last week, Bryce Williams. Let's say Clemson has officially offered him. What does that mean in terms of his recruitment and Nebraska's pursuit of him?
I think obviously that they can definitely make a mark. The one-time Florida State commitment was back in Lincoln, a week ago. I think things still look very good for Nebraska there. He's scheduled to come in that first weekend in the month of June. He'll be there like with Jalen Hill and Corey Hadley, and probably a very good chance, obviously, that Trey Taylor will be around, obviously, at that time to where he'd have a chance to talk to him as well. But I think obviously that the Bryce is going to be listening to everything, but I think Nebraska sits in a very good position with him. We'll have to see if Dabo can make up the ground. He's only got a couple 6 weeks, I guess, before Bryce ends up taking that trip to Nebraska the weekend of June 5th. So there's potentially a way to maybe get an official visit out of that thing. But I mean, there's so many of these guys, they want to be off the board, and in the universities and the schools kind of insist that they have basically the majority of their class kind of locked down by the end of July. That I don't think they really want to kind of deal with it anymore, much longer than that, if it carries on into August and September. So, and like I said, Nebraska's in on some very, very, very good corners. You got Jalen Hill also coming in that weekend. I just spoke with, Kamari Whitfield, who's also coming in later on the 12th. He'll be there. got his visit confirmed the other day. But yeah, there's some other guys. I mean, they've made additional offers here recently, and if that's something that Bryce, I guess, has to take a look at closely, you stand the risk of really kind of being left out if Nebraska is where you wanted to go. So I think it's Nebraska, even if he wants to commit, kind of sort through if it's a hold my spot in the class kind of deal, or if that's really where you want to be.
Other thing on the defensive side of the ball, then, Brian, is up front. You wrote a couple weeks ago about Zamar Tukes, who was impressed with Nebraska. You said good right up there from a couple weeks ago, but you said he seems like he's coming back. Tell us about that potential visit and the prospect himself.
So actually, he was already there.
Oh,
so
perfect.
I spoke to him maybe an hour ago. Going to have an full update on him basically later tonight. Big difference there for him, the spring game visit to what he recently did up there in Lincoln was the first trip his dad came with him, the second trip his mom did. And I think Nebraska really made a big impression on him this second time around. This is a guy that really tried to get out to Nebraska earlier on in the spring, had some travel issues getting out of New York, couldn't make it, finally got out there, for the spring game, does a quick pivot and comes back, essentially 3-4 weeks later. And he's already slated to come back for an official visit. So I do feel like, I have a prediction potentially boiling here, to pick him to come in. He's a very versatile guy. The role, it also comes down to the role that Nebraska is kind of talking about with him, because, they really see him fitting somewhere between a 3 and a 5. And then, you get Coach Orich that brings up his defense, and, where he had probably, let's just say, less than prototypical looking defensive linemen, but great athletes and great motors. And he could get, all those guys moving around, confusing offensive lines, bringing pressure from everywhere, very, very large twists where you had guys, twisting out from a 1 or a 3 all the way out to like a 5 or a 7. And you got a lot of guys that are moving around. And that's really where Zamar, I think, can be the most, kind of beneficial to the defensive line. He's a great athlete. He is a tremendous athlete. His quickness is unbelievable. Put on his film and see how explosive he is. His film is tremendous. So I think that's why I think Nebraska really started pushing for this second visit here in April to kind of get a better sense of like where things sit at. And it'll be interesting to kind of see what happens, going forward between now and June, because it's going to be kind of a quiet time. I mean, he's got 4 official visits set up, I think. And Nebraska, he told me, is really moving up his list.
Stay tuned for that write-up. Like Brian said, coming later today at HuskerOnline.com. Get your subscription. I do to stay up to date with everything in Husker football recruiting from Brian Munson and his colleagues. And, of course, Brian joins us here Mondays at 3:30 during Old School. Brian, I appreciate it as always. May the Bills draft make you look a little silly in retrospect. May they have done better than you thought they did at first blush. Here's to another year of AFC East champion Buffalo Bills. Just for you, my friend.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much. Talk next week.
That's Brian Munson with us on our Allo Fiber VIP line. Allo Fiber is where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We'll be back to wrap up hour 1. Lots to get to still on the show in college football. Obviously, the NBA playoffs in full swing. Plenty more as well. That's straight ahead on Old School, brought to you by Graham Tire.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. 93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of showers and patchy fog. Otherwise, mainly cloudy and breezy with the high near 59. Tonight, decreasing cloud cover with an overnight low near 40. And tomorrow, a chance of showers throughout the day. Otherwise, mainly cloudy with an afternoon high near 57. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Cinco de Mayo will be here before you know it on May 5th, and Tipsy Tina's is the place to be. Come down to 8th and Q starting at 2 p.m. on May 5th for the Street Festival, featuring piñatas, giveaways, and more. Plus, see llamas from Sweet and Sassy Llama Farm from 5:30 to 7:30. DJ Joe Cruz will entertain starting at 7 p.m. with a spicy taco eating contest at 7:30. And the best part, as always, no cover charge. It's the early Cinco de Mayo Street Festival with Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, Tuesday, May 5th, beginning at 2 p.m. at 8th and Q.
Hey, this is Jay Foreman, the host of Old School, 3 to 6 p.m. here at 93.7 The Ticket. And one of my favorite things to do is come down and meet all the fans before and after as they cheer on our beloved Huskers.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
Water heater gone? Call Bryant. The price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. And in most cases, same-day replacement. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111.
Have you been looking for home technology upgrades but don't know where to turn? Online information can be contradicting and confusing. Lincoln's own experts at Dio Technologies can turn your living room into the place to watch your favorite sports. Whatever your vision is, Dio Tech is ready to make it a reality. From home theaters to outdoor entertainment spaces, they bring you along through the entire process to make sure you get exactly what you want. If you're ready to upgrade your entertainment space, visit Diotech online at diotech.net or give them a call at 402-793-5124.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Hi, Charlie Stone again, and Andy Goodyear with Honda of Lincoln will be joining me to talk about the Honda Spring event. Andy, I know this is a big event for you. Please tell us all about it.
I want to start out by thanking the Lincoln car buyers for an incredible year in 2025. It's just been announced that Honda of Lincoln is Nebraska's only Honda dealer to earn the prestigious Honda President's Award for 2025.
Wow, that's great, Andy. How many times now have you earned that President's Award?
It's a total of 20 times now, Charlie. The Honda Spring event is truly a big event for us. We have incredible savings on every remaining 2025 and every new 2026. Special low rates, long-term financing, and special lease rates.
Maybe it's time you experience the best, the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
At Raising Cane's, we focus on making the most craveable chicken finger meals, getting them right every time. That's why we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, salt every fry, squeeze every lemon, and brew every ounce. We do this inside every Raising Cane's, every day. Because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
In a world where Wi-Fi battles rage and bandwidth is never enough, one family dares to connect it all. Work from home, influence all day, stream all night. and game to win. Deadlines, downloads, and dance-offs, all happening under one roof, flawlessly. Can your internet provider do that? Fiber fuel your household at allofiber.com/all-in.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, welcome back in. It is Old School. Austin Orman and Jay Foreman with you. Just a couple moments left here in this hour. Jay, it's official. Mike Vrabel's back to work.
Yeah. Well, that's the only place he probably feels safe at right now.
We give coaches a lot of grief. Sometimes we praise them for sleeping on the couch at work, being a grinder, never going home. But this is a
you know, a funny story.
different.
A funny story that's not anything to do with that. And you know, he's got to. I mean, he's gonna be. Listen, he better be hyper focused on every third down from here on out. He probably watching so much tape he don't know what to do. Is when I was in Houston and I was captain of the team or whatever, and we had a practice, and then I would eat and some lift or whatever. So it got pretty late, and I had to come back to the stadium. Now I had talked to Dom Capers, and I thought like, ended the conversation, and he knew I lived pretty close, and so I was like, I'll just come in early tomorrow and I'll talk to you, about it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh no, I'll come back to the stadium. It was late. I was like, all right, cool. I'll come back to the stadium. My man had a full-fledged apartment up there. Now for him, his wife was a flight attendant. So when she was not in town, he would just stay at the stadium. And he had like a condo. He didn't have like a house or anything.
Yeah.
So he and they've kind of always done it that way or whatever, where they're both like busy. And she was great and stuff. But, he's like, oh yeah. He's like, if I'm watching tape or if it gets too late and I don't want to drive, he's like, I'll just stay here. He's like, and he was 5 o'clock in the morning. He was, we had a coffee club that we called it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't drink coffee, but that's when we'd be in there lifting. So some coaches do sleep there without being
extracurriculars.
Yeah, without being kicked out the crib.
Duly noted.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting kicked out the crib, Nebraska trying to kick some NIL enforcement to the curb. They got their day in court tomorrow. Interesting to see how that goes. We'll talk about Brendan Sorsby coming up later, but also an update on the 5 to play 5 ruling and some comments from the Big Ten. Let's get to that in hour 2 of the show. Hour 1 brought to you by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. You can call them today for more information at 402-430-3852. You can also visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Free estimates, full window replacements, and so much more, including lifetime warranties on everything. Shout out to Heartland of Nebraska Windows. He's Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Orman. Big college sports headlines after this.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
About is facing a family legal matter? Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
At Raising Cane's, we focus on making the most craveable chicken finger meals, getting them right every time. That's why we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, salt every fry, squeeze every lemon, and brew every ounce. We do this inside every Raising Cane's, every day. Because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Rick Heyman here from Starter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Starter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at starterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their Contact Us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
When something breaks, you want someone you can trust to fix it right. Empire Repair is now open in Waverly and ready to serve our community with reliable auto repair and maintenance. From routine service to bigger repairs, our team is here to keep you on the road. Stop by Empire Repair in Waverly or call 402-786-2224 to schedule your service today. Empire Repair, proud to serve Waverly.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Assets Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish top-shelf bar, enjoy a healthy menu, family-friendly atmosphere, and catch all of your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Assets Sports Bar, located at 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln.
Every strong team needs a good game plan, and Nebraska's business community is no different. The Nebraska Chamber is helping businesses across our state grow, hire, and compete. We're working on real solutions that matter: more housing for our growing workforce, investment in infrastructure that grows our state, and higher paying jobs. It all adds up to a stronger Nebraska and a stronger future. Learn how you can get involved at nechamber.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln, this is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Woo! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts answer the call one more time. And Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln. Your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Welcome in hour 2 of Old School. Austin Orman and Jay Foreman with you. 402-464-5685 if you want to be a part of the show. Would love to have you along for the ride. Speaking of, if you want a smooth ride, you can take your car to Graham Tire Company. They're celebrating 75 years of serving the Midwest. More than just tires, they do all kinds of car and light truck repairs too. From brakes to oil changes, trust Graham Tire for service you can count on. Graham Tire, getting you to the places that matter most. 402-464-5685. Again, the numbers to be a part of the show. Some big picture college athletics stuff to get to here, Jay, in this segment. We'll start with the eligibility thing. I think that's pretty interesting. The NCAA, not that long ago, in fact, just over half an hour ago, the board of directors said to the Division I cabinet, go ahead and move on that 5 to play 5 age-based eligibility concept that we talked about last week. So it sounds like it is nearing a vote, most likely again in May. A couple interesting things to take away from this. First and foremost, the seniors that are set to graduate would not be grandfathered in. It would start for this current class. So, you know, the names we mentioned, yes. So the juniors would essentially be able to repeat their junior year right now. So the guys we mentioned last week, you're like Braden Smith, that class, essentially, those guys would say, nope, you're done after this year. We're going to give coaches a full year. To Jamarcus Lawrence and Kendall Blue.
All done.
And then the next year's class.
Yeah, so that's kind of what we thought last week, right?
That's what I was hoping for, at the very least.
Yeah, because you didn't want Jamarcus around.
I don't know if I would go that far necessarily.
I would ask the NCAA.
They're going to get sued anyways.
I would ask the NCAA, where are your scruples at? Where's your conscience? You know what I mean? Where is it?
Has the NCAA ever had a conscience?
But no, they haven't. That's why you need to have some scruples right now, where you could have said, you know what, we'll let you guys repeat your senior year. Instead, you want to take the easy route, which is probably more.
Well, they get sued either way.
More efficient, right? Is the kind of, they actually made a rule and stuck to it. But I understand why. That way, you kind of, everybody knows when, and you can kind of, you get depending on the sport, you get right about a year, a little bit less than a year to kind of get your roster management, NIL, and all that together. But it sucks for a guy like Jamarcus Lawrence that was willing to come back and probably had to play a lesser role. Now he's got to potentially, when they put when they're starting to put out statements this quickly, and quickly for them is within a week or two, it's coming like officially, definitely by the time football season starts. There's always some big ruling now. It seems like every year, it's always in July right before camps open. So that's where you'll probably see that. Then it'll be a big talking point, because if I'm a junior, like if you look at football guys, if you're a junior when like on the team, so who would that be on this year's team? It would be, I'm thinking of a junior. I could think of maybe like a Vincent Shavers. So he gets to play, 2 more years or 3 more years, right? Including this year.
Yeah.
Guys like that. You can end up having that year where you have the Indiana roster where you have guys that are 23, 24 years old.
The Auburn basketball roster.
Right. If you have a, good junior class this year. So it'll be interesting to see what comes about.
A couple more things from this release. The Student Athlete Advocacy Committee might be getting a little bit more power. Used to be Student Athlete Advisory Committee. There are discussions about how the Student Athlete Advocacy Committee could start proposing more rules, as opposed to just being there and listening, actually giving the student athletes the ability to actively propose rules. This is from the write-up that directly impact the student athlete experience, including, for example, potential changes to Division I core guarantees. I think that's long overdue, Jay. We talked about that when we heard that President Trump was putting together that 48-person panel and all these challenges. Yeah, no current student athletes and very few even former student athletes that are outside of the political activism and advocacy kind of world. You get all the the politicians, you get the ADs, the coaches, the presidents, and whatnot, but no student athlete representation. I think it's good for them to at least be somewhat involved in those conversations, hearing from people that are boots on the ground. Obviously, the major sports, but even the Olympic sports that might not get as much coverage because they're the ones. You saw Arkansas axed its tennis program. Iowa State's been in the news for cutting programs. You got to have, maybe not a student athlete from every sport, but some representation of, the big sports, kind of the middle tier sports and the Olympic sports.
Yeah, for sure. And it was a mishap a misread on their part, and not taking any digs at, the president or anything, or, it really is Nick Saban in them. But I think it was they definitely missed the mark, and more or less just on Nick Saban and those guys, because obviously that's something that he was an advocate for, and which it had, great, thoughts behind it. But as much as he's been in the forefront of thinking and being an advocate for student athletes to be able to be compensated and the betterment for them and education and all that, and he's made some decisions that weren't probably, to keep some players on his team that weren't widely accepted, but he did it for the betterment of the kids. It was definitely an oversight, to say the least, to not have some student athletes or some former student athletes that are well aware of what a current student athlete needs, right? And it was great to have some big names around there. And what it reminded me of is when I used to talk to some of our player reps in the NFL, when they would, be at practice and talk about it. And it was always the, quarterback who was the highest paid on the team, generally another wide receiver or DB that was a second or third highest paid on the team, and somebody else that was a starter that was in the middle of a second or third contract. Well, my point was, that's you guys are like the 1% of the league.
Yeah.
The league is built on 99%. So the way that you're thinking and the way that and this is no offense, this is not knocking you for being successful. You've never been a late round pick. You've never had to fight every day to stay on the roster. You have, but not in reality.
Never had to fight for attention.
Right. And so you're where you're at and what you think you need benefit wise and all that is nowhere near the majority of the league is going to need, either in present time or in the future, which the future in a lot of ways is just as important as the present as far as the benefits. When you look at this NCAA ruling, it's no different. You had guys thinking in a world that the student athletes have never been exposed to. Then on the flip side, you're making decisions for a world that you've never been exposed to, or you really don't know what it's like. And then when you bring in the Olympic sports into it that aren't the high revenue generating, or maybe they're not able to be in the black, and they definitely most likely in the red, but what they need, because they carry the brunt indirectly of all the big decisions that you make. When you heard the story about, forgetting the Big Ten, what softball team it was the West Coast softball team had to go out to the East Coast, play, a 3-game series, stay out there, play another 3-game series, come back, play Oregon, and whatever it was. And then you talk about whether it's mental health and grades. Well, if you don't have the big enough support staff, say like softball, or if it's tennis or whatever it is, the student athletes experience is horrible for them. Sure, they're flying, they're staying in great hotels and all that, but they don't have the support to be able to educate themselves, because if they're not really exceptional in, say, track and field or tennis, there is no after college life for them,
right,
professionally. So it's all right now. And so that's where you talk about that with the 5 for 5. You definitely need to be, I like it that they're having a student athlete advocacy committee that's able to set forth some rules,
some proposals. Yeah.
And I think that's great, because you're taking people's points into consideration and actually respecting it. And it'll be tidied up to where it's presentable to them, so they can't say, oh, well, tighten your stuff up, we'll just keep making decisions. I like it because they're putting more skin in the game and allowing the athletes to have somewhat of a control of their outcome.
One other piece then from this we'll get to momentarily. Brian H. on our Sutter Heyman Jewelers text line wants to know, where did the 5 to play 5 come from? Was it from an executive order? No and yes, Brian. So the executive order essentially was one of those meetings that could have been an email sort of things. It's good to get people face to face and talking, but they didn't really accomplish anything. And the executive order also didn't put anything into law. Essentially, it was just the president and this committee, commission, whatever you want to call it.
What ideas?
Yeah, here's what we would like to see. test the feasibility, test the viability, see if you can make this happen. It was not this is now the law of the land. It's going to get sued, overturned, whatever have you. So there's that part of it, but it's also come out since the executive order, and this is way too far down the pipeline for the NCAA, for anyone to believe that 5-5 wasn't already a thought before the president and the team he put together started working on this. I think 5 to play 5 has been, with the age part as well, been in the works for a while. And then it just happened to be, it sounded good. There was some momentum behind it. And then it made its way into that executive order is my understanding of it. Jay, let's get to this. Transfers and tampering enforcement. I know you're big on this. The tampering part especially, and this kind of blew my mind. It's kind of funny. From that same NCAA release that we've been talking about, the board also introduced a proposal that would direct the infractions process to presume violations occurred in cases of impermissible contact with transfer students, i.e. tampering. If the proposal is adopted by the D1 cabinet in June, schools suspected of tampering with student athletes prior to their entry into the transfer portal would need to demonstrate the violation did not occur to avoid penalties. Our legal system, 250 years, innocent until proven guilty. College sports is saying you tampered unless you have no receipts.
Yeah.
Prove you didn't.
Yeah, it's guilty until we decide that you're not guilty.
Blow that gun smoke away.
At this point, what's the point of it?
I would rather have it go the other way. You think when your student athletes got tampered with, hey, here are the DMs he has.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why is the burden of proof on the tampering school to prove they didn't?
And you can
manipulate.
You can manipulate those and all that. At this point, I look at it like this: they'll find a way to get around that rule. If I want to get a hold of Austin and I want you to become my receiver, I'm going to find a way to make sure that I'm at the top of the list and not on your list. I do understand it. And the big one that blew up was Dabo Swinney just kind of going through like a timeline. Listen, Dabo Swinney was like when I went to the principal's office one time before my dad got there, he was like, well, you did this on this date. You did this on this date. What do you think about, do you remember? And I said, I don't know. Well, you remember because you were here last week. You know what I mean? And so that's great. Who are you going to make an example of to scare other people off not to do it again? And it can't be. You
can't be mad at Kentucky and Cleveland State gets 2 years of probation.
Exactly. It can't be McNeese State.
Mm-hmm.
How willingly are you to jump out there to hold, in this case, Ole Miss accountable, LSU accountable,
Lane Kiffin accountable?
Yeah, one of your moneymaker guys. If that's the case, this is great. If not, just let it to be where it's at, because it happens all the time. Heck, they have an early tampering rule in free agency in every sport now, where you can get the deals done. So either if that's the case, why don't you just do that in football? Because you can't tell me the quarterback at Missouri was not being tampered with when they were in the college football playoffs and he was at Penn State and he didn't even go to the semifinal final game. You just decided, just woke up one day, I'm just going to go to Columbia, Missouri. I'm going to leave Happy Valley and I'm going to go to Columbia.
Find me a direct flight, Mr. Agent.
Yeah. I mean, no connection with the coaching staff prior and all that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, Columbia, that was great, man. I'd always wanted to go there.
It feels like home, or so I've been told.
Yeah, I always wanted to go there. Don't you remember that? Don't you remember when I was a little kid when Missouri?
I wore that yellow shirt one time.
Right? Yeah. You know when Missouri was 2-10, I told you I could go to be the quarterback there. I would turn them around. So I think it's great in thought. I think that's not at the top of my, wouldn't be at the top of my list. I mean, you got things where, everybody's like, oh, if the student athletes can collect a bargain. I'm here to tell you this right now. Okay. Nobody cares, and it ain't going to happen for 10 to 15 years. So stop talking about it.
Until you have a legitimately viable plan.
Right. They're not going to be able to collect a bargain as quick as they're able to go 5 for 5. Yeah. So get it off and get it out of your mind. That will take a 5-year process. They haven't even got to the point that they can get everybody in one of those big hotel rooms and have a nice little quick vacation down to Florida and better figure out some stuff for a couple hours.
Yeah.
So the thoughts are great. 5 for 5 is okay. I think I still hate it for the guys that have the unique circumstances, but I do understand it because of.
But see, it's not unique. I just disagree on that.
Because Austin, I can tell you. Well, okay, let me say this. If you're at a place and say you might be injured for 2 years, okay, We've seen Kyle Van. This happened in the pros, but college is no different, right? He was hurt. He was hurt 3 years in a row. Teddy Prohaska 3 years in a row, and so, and then he redshirt or whatever. He gets to his 5th year, he gets hurt again. I hate it for a kid like that just wants to play. Now, if you put it like you can't play power 4, fine. I just don't like it, but I understand it, and I will roll with the 5-for-5. I just the 1 year extra, I get it, but I do understand the 5-for-5 because let me ask you this before you answer: how many guys are going to play a lot in that first year? Different freshmen.
Well, it depends. I mean, I think to use
if you got a class of 20.
Well, hopefully not many.
Okay, so then that's 1 year burned.
So then you still have 4, like everyone else used to have.
Right.
Except it doesn't.
So the rule is all for nothing. Because the guys that are going to be able to play 5 years are minimal.
Well, those guys are probably only going to be around for 3.
Right. So then the rule is the rule needs to be made for the majority. In my point, is my reason.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Right. So the majority of young freshmen, the few that they do recruit, they're not going to be able to play. See, I shouldn't have said it. I knew it.
The few that they do recruit.
We need to go to break.
No, we don't. We're saying right here.
Damn it.
To that Prohaska point, it breaks my heart for guys in his position. Local kid didn't really get the opportunity to play. I think you're thinking like a coach. You want the veteran. You want the older guy. You want the locker room presence. You want the maturity. Think about, though, Jay, every opportunity that you give, just for this example, a Teddy Prohaska, is one that you take away from a high school kid. It is a zero-sum game. A zero-sum game, especially with the roster limits that are here, when you have to be down to 105 in a couple years. Again, this is nothing against any particular player at all. It is nothing personal. But sometimes it's not in the cards for you. It sucks that he got hurt as much as he did. Why is that, the next Turner Corcoran's problem? Why should a, 3.5, 4-star, I know Corcoran's higher rated, but why should a 3.5, 4-star have to wait his turn, go to a lower level when, for 100 years, he's been a D1 caliber player just because we feel bad that someone got injured? And again, I do legitimately feel bad. Cover his medical bills, cover his expenses. But, if you're here on campus for 5 years, you're injured for 3, I'm sorry, read the tea leaves. It just might not be in your best interest to be playing football anymore. And there's an opportunity for someone else that deserves a chance to.
Yeah, I mean, we agree. We agree. I just think that if you're going to make a rule like that, it needs to be 5 years on the field. And if the majority of the guys are getting redshirted, or in your case, you're saying there's a few guys that are injured more than, say, like 2 or 3 seasons, then we're both arguing the same thing. It's still, if you need to be, it needs to be 6 for 5 maximum.
But the whole point of the extra year is that you don't have the confusion over the red shirt. You just take that whole thing out of the equation. You bake in the extra year for everyone by default. So you don't have to you don't have to elect to use a red shirt in the traditional sense where you come in thinking you're 4 for 4, right? Because college is still set up to be 4 years.
Yeah.
And then you essentially have to elect to use a red shirt. Whereas in this case, the red shirt year, the injury medical red shirt year, the old transfer sit out year, whatever it is essentially just baked in for everyone from the beginning.
I get it. I mean, I somewhat like it. I don't necessarily 100% like it, but I do understand it because guys were able to double and triple extend their careers and be in their 7, 8. Now that's excessive, but I do understand what you're saying. But if here's my deal. If you're going to go 5 for 5, if you're going to tell me I can play 5 years, then I need another year. I need to get on the weights. I got to adjust to Lincoln. I need a whole year, Austin, to get used to Lincoln.
Yes.
But I don't need to use eligibility.
Nebraska, it's not for everyone.
Because I got to get used to going to house parties and get that out of my system.
But see, I think it does need to count as a year of eligibility for simplicity's sake, consistency across the board.
All they're doing is cutting costs.
In some ways, yeah. I'm going to throw this out there, though, to the tampering thing. Schools suspected of tampering with student athletes prior to their entry into the transfer portal would need to demonstrate the violation did not occur to avoid penalties. Do you think about how wild this is going to be? Let's say that, Nebraska and Missouri are competing for a guy from Kansas City or, like the next Williams and Ware, right? Let's say that Missouri threw out there that, Nebraska was already talking with Williams-Nwaneri. They did it through, Coach Mosey, who coached him in high school. We're pretty sure that's how it happened. You don't have to have receipts. You don't have to have evidence. You don't have to have wiretapped or anything.
Yeah.
All you have to say is, we believe they tampered. Nebraska gets it with penalties until they can spend the time and the money and the resources in court to prove that they didn't. That to me is a horrible system.
Yeah.
It's
a one-sided system.
Incredibly. I mean, think about the old Southwest Conference. Think about some just blood rivals, right?
Yeah.
What if Duke in Carolina on the basketball side? Oh, how did Carolina get that guy? Well, they had to have tampered with him. No, we're just putting it on you guys. Prove that you didn't tamper with him. If you do everything by the book, it's an annoyance, but you're still paying for court costs. You're still going through the process. You're still digging up dirt that probably doesn't need to necessarily be moved. And I get it. We're all tired of tampering. No one likes it. We would like things to be done by the book. But I think it's a horrible idea that any school can just accuse another school of tampering and then have the penalties on there automatically, essentially before the day in court, proving innocence instead of proving guilt.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
You wonder what'll happen if you falsely accuse somebody of doing it, and that could happen between Texas and Texas A&M or whatever.
Yeah,
and so it's a good idea. They probably need to cover all their bases before they put that in effect, because it's definitely one-sided right now. But then also you set yourself up to allow teams to stymie other teams' progress with false allegations, and you definitely don't ever want that. And especially if the other team that's the accuser or teams that are accusers don't have a penalty.
Let's talk about the Nebraska thing, challenging the College Sports Commission. That was what we were going to lead the hour with, but I got into a lot there with 5 for 5 and tampering. Tomorrow, Nebraska 18 student athletes will be challenging the College Sports Commission's ruling in court. We'll talk about that next here on Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Water heater gone? Call Bryant. The price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. And in most cases, same-day replacement. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Some days are for errands, but those days can wait. These are for free Honda demo rides. Test ride the latest Honda Adventure, Sport, Cruiser, and Touring models to find your perfect fit. Try Honda's automatic dual clutch transmission, DCT, for seamless shifting that keeps you focused on the ride. And check out Honda e-Clutch, designed to handle clutch control for stall-free starts and effortless gear changes. Spaces are limited. Visit Rod's Power Sports at 1030 Saltillo Road today to reserve your free demo ride. For your safety, read the owner's manual and always wear a helmet and eye protection. Honda motorcycles are for riders 16 years and older.
Hello, I'm Steve Sipple, co-host of Early Break, weekday mornings from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. And my favorite thing to do, see, or go to in downtown Lincoln is probably O'Rourke's. It's not like I go there that often, but when I do, it takes me back to my college years. It's always been a very chill bar. Seems like they play good music, just a good vibe in there. And I look forward to my next trip into that bar.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
In a world where Wi-Fi battles rage and bandwidth is never enough, one family dares to connect it all. Work from home, influence all day, stream all night, and game to win. Deadlines, downloads, and dance-offs, all happening under one roof, flawlessly. Can your internet provider do that? Fiber fuel your household at allofiber.com/all-in.
Now's the time to lock in the best deal of the year on a new John Deere sprayer during Landmark Implement's Sprayer Early Order Program. Leverage the industry's latest technology with See and Spray. Target weeds with precision and cut herbicide use. Utilize Exact Apply to save in chemical usage and prevent over-application. Don't forget, secure early order savings and get the sprayer that maximizes every pass. Visit your Landmark location for full details and experience the Landmark difference.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete in Lincoln and Palmyra. Ready Mixed offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they cover the cost of CDL training. Apply with Ready Mixed Concrete today to be eligible for a $2,500 hiring bonus. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today with Ready Mixed Concrete. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Dana Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Dana Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Dana Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Assets Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish top-shelf bar, enjoy a healthy menu, family-friendly atmosphere, and catch all of your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Assets Sports Bar, located at 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln.
In communities like ours, local relationships still matter. At Insight Partners, we believe we are better together. That's why insurance agencies across the Midwest have joined Insight Partners to better serve local customers and communities with all their insurance needs. From personal to commercial or specialty insurance, your local Insight Partners team is here to help protect what matters most. Insight Partners, better together. Learn more at myINSpartners.com.
When something breaks, you want someone you can trust to fix it right. Empire Repair is now open in Waverly and ready to serve our community with reliable auto repair and maintenance. From routine service to bigger repairs, our team is here to keep you on the road. Stop by Empire Repair in Waverly or call 402-786-2224 to schedule your service today. Empire Repair, proud to serve Waverly.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is indeed Old School. Austin Orman, Jay Foreman with you. Big thanks to Schwezo Construction for sponsoring Old School. At Schwezo, safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. They're hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back on and off the job site. Apply today at schwezo.com, SCHWISOW.com. 40-plus years strong in business, Schwezo Construction. Jay, before we get to the Nebraska angle, text here from 6834. They say you cannot prove a negative. There's no way to prove you did not do something. I'll throw this out there to push back in that I think you can prove it, but again, it's going to be costly. And if people really care that much, is it going to be worth it? Because let's say that the common ways of tampering are social media, DMs, and phone messages, right? If you want to go full Tom Brady, throw your phone in a lake and hope no one finds it in a million pieces, fine. Good luck with it. But then guess what? They can subpoena your phone records. Oh, they bought a new phone this day. What happened to the old phone about the time of the transfer? Whatever. Or, well, just because the messages aren't on the phone, guess what? These companies store that stuff. Sometimes it's forever. Sometimes it's for a few months. Sometimes it's for a few years. I don't know to the extent, but I'm sure they have some recollection or some way to say, oh, at one point, this account followed this account. Oh, just because the messages weren't on the profile, we can look back and say, oh, around this time period, there were some messages between these two. I don't know if they would have the content of those messages, the messages themselves, or just the record that there were messages sent between them, the number of them, whatever. And so again, that to me is something that should be on the accusing school to prove, hey, look, we have these receipts, we have the screenshots and, AI Photoshop doctor, whatever. I think we know when we see pretty well what's real, what's not. And if it's only a one-sided thing, it'd be able to be more easily proven to be false. But if the accused school needs to prove that nothing happened, well, then it's just my word versus your word, unless we want to go to court. And then again, who cares? Is it worth it at that point?
Yeah, it's a tricky slope to go into, man. I mean, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They're going to go to the drawing board and they're going to go through the scenarios that we talked about. But then also, I think they need to redefine what the purpose is of this rule. What are they trying to get accomplished with this rule? Because of just having it rule and then kind of use it at your leisure when need be is not going to help grow the game. If you're trying to create some sort of longevity as far as tenures at certain schools or a process on recruiting, that's fine. Then you need to start bringing in some more people. Then say, okay, then you just send in an email. It's like jumping in the transfer portal. Report one team or one coach or whoever it is, and then we just go suspend them, and then we don't even take into consideration the magnitude and the momentum that we're shifting from the people that are being accused, but then also the ease that you could potentially make it for a team that's going to be playing the person that's the team that's accused and the coach as well. So that you're creating a competitive disadvantage and advantage for the teams that are doing the accusing.
5704. Austin, I dropped $100 bill outside the ticket. You picked it up and took it. Prove to me that you didn't. Here's the deal. This proves perfectly my point about the system. If you can accuse me of picking up $100 bill that you dropped and I get in trouble, even if I never saw this $100 bill or blew away in the wind, that's bullcrap. That's terrible.
Yeah.
I didn't see this $100 bill. I didn't touch it. If you can claim and you can slap me with penalties and sanctions, you better have cameras. You better have, I had $100 this day or not.
Yeah.
That's the entire point of the innocent until proven guilty. Because if you claim you put a $100 bill on the ground, I know for a fact I didn't touch it. I never saw it. But you win the case because you said I took it. Not only did you lie about it, you created something that was fake, and I get punished for you doing 2 things wrong and me doing 0 things wrong. That is the problem with this system.
The perception also is worth a huge fine as well, because if you keep reporting a certain school, like what school right now do you think is operating way outside of the guidelines for rev share right now?
I think we know them.
Right. And so, but that's what we know. But then if you're constantly reporting them, then now it's, you're defaming their name or whatever. You could find yourself in a pretty hefty lawsuit. And I wonder if we have any lawyers on the text, I wonder if you could sue the NCAA for allowing a one-sided rule to go in effect if this does go through. Because
my dad texted that in. Isn't the NCAA begging to get sued with this tampering guilty? Presumption of innocence is a crucial part of due process, or why would the NCAA not have to abide by that? Are you
fostering this type of environment?
Right.
And so maybe it was just something like a mishap, and they forgot that they omitted that part of it. As far as they had too many fun stuff that 5 for 5. It sounds like it was the big at the forefront. But yeah, it's huge. And like I said, they need to make sure, in my opinion, that when you're making these rulings or about to, I guess, police these new rules, what is your outcome? What do you want to come out of it? Because if you're just doing it it's kind of like the targeting thing, right? What was this? Was it or like in the NFL, the targeting and all that, or you can't hit guys across the middle, defenseless receiver and all that? Okay, well, they could say, okay, we want to lessen concussions, and this is our data with it. Well, what's your data with this? What are you trying to lessen the number of people or players that go into the portal? Well, as we've now found out through research, a lot of the players that are going in the portal or jump into the portal are aggressively and softly nudged in there. So then that nullifies what your reason for the ruling is. And so I think that, well, if you kind of like backtrack, start at I guess the equivalent is with golf, start at the green, work back to the tee box. I think you can come up with a pretty good ruling that will scare some people off, just as long as you hold Michigan to the same accountability level as you kind of make a new, the first little I guess, person that just kind of gets thrown out there like a McNeese State or somebody like that.
Mm-hmm.
Make an example of them, make an example of the big dogs too.
All right, the Nebraska thing, bigger dog in college athletics. Tomorrow, they're going to court with the College Sports Commission. 18 players, all very similar cases. The College Sports Commission, the clearinghouse, denied Nebraska's deals with Playfly, the media rights company, for warehousing, which is essentially buying out, purchasing the student athlete's name, image, likeness rights without any set in stone plan for what the deliverables are. Essentially, is the overview. Going to be about $1 million worth of third-party NIL deals that got rejected across these 18 players. And from Yahoo Sports' write-up, really just gives the two sides of it. If the arbitrator upholds the College Sports Commission's decision to withhold the money and say the contracts are void, the players must decline the compensation of the deal or return the payment if they're already paid. If the player refuses to do that, they are ruled ineligible. If the arbitrator rules in favor of the player, they can strike or keep the deal or keep the compensation if it's already paid. However, if they rule against the players, they may have another path to resolution. The Nebraska Attorney General may get involved. Nebraska has a law that was passed by the state legislature prohibiting an association or institution from penalizing athletes for participating in NIL or receiving compensation. There's a lot there.
There is a lot. I mean, I understand Nebraska's point. Get out of the way. You've seen them go missing down there when LSU is doing their business, right? And so why you always want to be in our business and saying that we don't have any viable plan for essentially what the athletes need to do to earn the compensation that we are giving them. So, but then I see, okay, let's at least kind of fluff it up to make it like they're going to be doing something, right? I understand the NCAA's part, but again, why? What are you trying to get out of causing this ruckus? Nebraska wants to make sure their athletes are compensated, rightfully so. But NCAA, who's roadblocking, what are you trying to get out of it? Because I would argue, are we the only team?
No.
Okay, then. So where is everybody else?
Why does it have to be us?
Yes. Where is everybody else?
The deal, as best I understand it, is that the College Sports Commission doesn't like the Nebraska student athletes deals with Playfly because they're affiliated with the university. For the same reason that 18
doesn't look like the pay for play.
Right. It's for the same reason that like 1890 got shut down. All the collectives, right, got brought into the fold and then went away, kind of disappeared. The article from, I think, Ross Dellinger says third parties such as Playfly are not allowed to participate in arbitration. This is the sports new world. At its center, schools using affiliated third parties to exceed the revenue share cap. So because Playfly is associated with the university, the College Sports Commission views using funds that are still in the athletic department but not earmarked for the rev share cap as against the rules. Nebraska is arguing this isn't a rev share deal. This is an NIL deal because third-party NIL, your endorsements, right? The Boozer Gatorade commercial, the Arch Manning, Warby Parker commercial.
Unlimited, right?
Unlimited. Those are still good to go. But because Playfly has a partnership with Nebraska, Nebraska is using that money. That's what the College Sports Commission is pushing back against as a way to circumvent the $20.5 million in climbing rev share.
Yeah, you better get an injunction or delayed. We got a season to play. Worry about it next year. I mean, so I understand Nebraska's point, NCAA's point, but Nebraska had to do what they had to do to get the players paid.
More from the Yahoo Sports article. Multimedia rights partners spend millions of dollars to purchase a school's intellectual property rights and then sell those rights to an array of corporate sponsors. Schools are now employing multimedia companies, marketing agencies, and apparel brands to use corporate sponsors to direct their distribution to athletes instead of to the school. The industry term for that is a redirect of revenue. It's been at the center of some recent discussions. Companies such as Playfly, Learfield's a big one, Adidas and Under Armour are aggressively pairing their corporate sponsors with athletes, something Seeley from the CSC describes as manufactured NIL, which is not against the rules if the deals include a valid business purpose, timely deliverables, and are within the range of compensation algorithm.
It'd be interesting. I mean, look, these are last couple of weeks, big decisions for Nebraska. I mean, obviously one was you held your own court with the Board of Regents, and then here you are on, which will be on a Tuesday, going in there and, fighting a good fight. I mean, I think they'll end up being all right. I do understand the NCAA side's point, but it's a moot point because you can't tell me or convince me Nebraska is the only one doing it this way. So, again, you have to hedge your bets or really want to do what's your risk tolerance on both sides to push this even farther.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the perception value or devalue that you get from whatever the ruling or rulings are.
We'll find out tomorrow, or at least they'll have the initial hearings tomorrow. I've got a 45-day window to get this done, so it ought to be done by summer camp.
There it is, right before kickoff, or right before camp kicks off.
Right before you get back for summer workouts.
Hey, that'd be great, though, if they were holding up a check. Hey, we got it passed. You check your mailbox? No, I'm about to.
About to. Sorry, Coach, I did practice early. I've been told
That's right.
someone's going to float right in there.
I'll be warming up like a mug it'd be 100 degrees out there. I'll be smiling like a mug. I just got paid.
Jay Foreman there, Austin Orman here. We will wrap up hour 2 with your chance to win some Monster Jam tickets and to look at the future for former Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin after this.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Seems like just the other day I was building my first house. I've seen many changes to our building market in Lincoln. It's been a fun road.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, we hear this a lot where I don't want to live in a cookie cutter home. Well, let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. One thing that we started doing early on was we started building neighborhoods. I'm a firm believer in character in your street and in your neighborhood. I like choice. I like variation. I like maybe something a little bit different in a neighborhood that you don't see in every neighborhood. I think it's great to have choices, its uniqueness, and I think that's what gives a neighborhood character. And I think that's what we've done over the years.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Some days are for errands, but those days can wait. These are for free Honda demo rides. Test ride the latest Honda Adventure, Sport, Cruiser, and Touring models to find your perfect fit. Try Honda's automatic dual clutch transmission, DCT, for seamless shifting that keeps you focused on the ride. And check out Honda E-Clutch, designed to handle clutch control for stall-free starts and effortless gear changes. Spaces are limited. Visit Rod's Power Sports at 1030 Saltillo Road today to reserve your free demo ride. For your safety, read the owner's manual and always wear a helmet and eye protection. Honda motorcycles are for riders 16 years and older. Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Assets Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish top-shelf bar, enjoy a healthy menu, family-friendly atmosphere, and catch all of your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Assets Sports Bar, located at 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln.
Gentlemen, are you ready for something beyond the ordinary haircut? At Scissors and Scotch Lincoln, they blend your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. Sink into a comfy chair, unwind with a complimentary drink, and let their master barbers handle the rest. It's not just grooming, it's an experience. Whether you're prepping for a big meeting, needing to get cleaned up before family comes to town, or just need a little time to yourself, Scissors and Scotch Lincoln delivers sharp style every time. Book now at Scissors and Scotch in Lincoln, just south of 30th and Yankee Hill Road.
Right now in Lincoln, neighbors are facing hunger and homelessness, and they need our help. Your donation to Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach for Give to Lincoln Day helps provide nutritious meals, safe shelter, and life-changing support. Your gift goes even further thanks to matching funds from the Lincoln Community Foundation. Working together, we can make our community stronger by ensuring that everyone has access to nutritious food and a safe place to sleep at night. Give to Matt Talbot today or anytime through May 28th at givetolincoln.com.
The University of Nebraska Rodeo Association is excited to announce the 2026 Nebraska Cornhusker College Rodeo. Come on out to Sandhills Global Event Center May 1st and 2nd. Cheer on the University of Nebraska Rodeo team as they take on teams from all across the Great Plains region. Friday is college night, and Saturday afternoon, kids attend free with purchase of adult GA ticket at the door. Advanced tickets on sale now at sandhillsglobaleventcenter.org. Don't miss the Nebraska Cornhusker College Rodeo, May 1st and 2nd.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. And wow, what a great spring it has been here. We've had record sales happening at Koppel. And to show our appreciation, Koppel is giving out employee pricing on select new models. Yes, you heard that right. Employee pricing is happening right now at Koppel on select new models. So please stop on in the store and see the team or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. Some rebates to dealer.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in one final time for hour 2 of Old School. Full another hour of the show coming your way at 5. Austin Orman and Jay Foreman with you. Got your chance to win 4 tickets to Monster Jam this weekend. Thanks to Jake Sorensen for passing this information along. We will do it as we always do with a trivia question. We'll give it to the first person in with the correct answer on our Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line. 4 tickets, 1, 2, 3, 4 tickets to Monster Jam coming up this Saturday at Pinnacle Bank Arena. The trivia question: since the Common Draft era, so since 1967, how many running backs from the University of Nebraska have been drafted? How many running backs from the University of Nebraska have been drafted since 1967? First person in with the correct answer, 402-464-5685, will win 4 tickets to Monster Jam this Saturday at PBA. All right, Jay, Mike Tomlin on Football Night in America, really reshuffling that desk is NBC. Yeah. Mike Tomlin doesn't strike me as an image rehab guy. I think the guy knows a lot of football. Certainly a well-respected voice in the football industry. Seems like a worthwhile way for him to spend a year off. Maybe not image rehab in the traditional sense, but certainly a way to keep his name in the forefront of the hiring cycle.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's, a little bit of a break or a pause for him. He has great insight, great knowledge. His delivery is impeccable. Obviously, you've seen him at some of his press conferences. So, look, it's unfortunate for Chris Sims and Tony Dungy, and here comes Mike Tomlin, and you just never know if he takes off and he ends up getting real comfortable like Jay Wright in the studio. But I think it's great. You've seen Sean Payton do it. It worked out really well for him. It doesn't necessarily have to be a year. It could be 2 years, and, he wouldn't lose anything. I think the way the media goes and they have so much access and there's so much crossover, it's not like the old days where you're totally separate. So what I mean by that is if he chose to get back into coaching, or there's an opportunity like a Tampa or something like that where, to go back there, I don't think he'd pass it up.
So is this the way for Mike Tomlin to screen some organizations? Get a little peek behind the curtain?
It's a perfect way because you get to go and you get to, if you're not there on site, people in the media talk, they see a lot of things. They hear a lot of things. They talk to a lot of players. They know a lot of people that are like, whether in the scouting department or just in the supporting department, how things are done. And plus he has experience. I mean, obviously how many years he's been in Pittsburgh, he knows, but the inner workings of each organization or what it possibly could be is definitely on his mind, moving forward if he chooses to get back into coaching.
Mike Tomlin, when he was asked about this, said, I thought it would just be a great way to stay connected to the game, the awesome people in it, players, coaches, execs. Excited about doing that on Sunday night, traveling to different venues, getting that feel for the environment. And lastly, I just thought it'd be awesome to share insight with fellow football lovers. I love to talk football, and so that's just an exciting component for me. I got to admit, though, there's going to be some anxiety about stepping into a new space, but good anxiety. It's good to be uncomfortable, the growth associated with that. And so, man, I'm fired up about it. So good for Mike Tomlin. I think he ought to be good, and I'm really curious to see what he learns behind the scenes and how that influences his next coaching job.
Yeah, he's going to learn that. I think also a big thing for him is what you're doing when you're not on air, that kind of fellowship that you're getting with, fellow like either former players and coaches and obviously people he respects. That's where he's going to really get that football fixed. And then obviously, he'll within 2 or 3 weeks into it, he'll definitely be well accustomed to being on live TV.
The other thing he said, he walked away in part, this is from the ESPN write-up, because of the recent lack of playoff success and a belief that some of his veterans were, quote, worthy of the excitement and optimism associated with new leadership.
It's understandable. I mean, in Pittsburgh every year they're with the mindset, the expectations are that you got to try to win, a Super Bowl. And I think Pittsburgh is a little bit archaic and, how you view the draft and, the way that they were playing football. And it can affect the coach because he knows how hard it was to get to the, win the division or get in the playoffs and how tricky and how 1 or 2 plays can decide a playoff win or two or win or not. And he experienced that himself, and on both ends, getting into the playoffs when you're able to beat Baltimore kind of via the missed field goal, so forth and so on, then how you played when you, had your own game in the playoffs. I understand that. And I do understand he's always looking out for the players, the excitement. I think you can make that statement when the Steelers are going to try to win. You can't make that statement at other organizations throughout the NFL. You can't make that if he was at the Arizona Cardinals. He couldn't say that about the Cardinals when leaving in other places. So, I think he's, in the right mind frame, and heck, he popped up on Tyrod Taylor this weekend with Justin Fields and hung out with them for a little while. So I think he'll be right at home.
He did indeed. Dalton, you're going to be popping into Monster Jam this weekend as well. Since 1967, Jay, do you know how many running backs have been drafted from the University of Nebraska?
56.
Closer to your other number.
44?
41.
Yeah.
41 running backs drafted from Nebraska, number 2 in the common draft era.
Who's number 1? Alabama?
I just saw Nebraska tweet that. I don't have the number 1. But Emmett Johnson became number 41 with his selection by the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm sure we'll get into that. We'll have you guys grade your team's NFL draft. Brendan Sorsby checking into a residential rehab facility for gambling. What could that mean for Texas Tech and more? That's all ahead in hour 3 of the show.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The one and only Monster Jam. Big air, backflips, and all-out racing. See the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks. The fun begins at the pit party, where you can meet the drivers, get autographs, take pictures, and see the trucks up close. Get your pit party pass at monsterjam.com today. Must have valid event ticket to enter pit party. Restrictions may apply. Rules and activities are subject to change. Visit website for event details. Coming to Pinnacle Bank Arena this Saturday and Sunday.
The University of Nebraska Rodeo Association excites to announce the 2026 Nebraska Cornhusker College Rodeo. Come on out to Sandhills Global Event Center May 1st and 2nd. Cheer on the University of Nebraska Rodeo team as they take on teams from all across the Great Plains region. Friday is college night, and Saturday afternoon, kids attend free with purchase of adult GA ticket at the door. Advanced tickets on sale now at sandhillsglobaleventcenter.org. Don't miss the Nebraska Cornhusker College Rodeo May 1st and 2nd.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Assets Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish top-shelf bar, enjoy a healthy menu, family-friendly atmosphere, and catch all of your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Assets Sports Bar, located at 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Right now in Lincoln, neighbors are facing hunger and homelessness, and they need our help. Your donation to Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach for Give to Lincoln Day helps provide nutritious meals, safe shelter, and life-changing support. Your gift goes even further thanks to matching funds from the Lincoln Community Foundation. Working together, we can make our community stronger by ensuring that everyone has access to nutritious food and a safe place to sleep at night. Give to Matt Talbot today or anytime through May 28th at givetolincoln.com.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Some people are looking to buy their very first home. Others are looking to build, and some are refinancing to make what they have work a little better. But the one thing they all need? A personal guide through the mortgage process. At Pinnacle Bank, our local lenders work closely with you to find the right kind of loan and the best rates possible. Because every path home deserves someone by your side. Find your lender today. With Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, buddy, here we go. Just keep your eye on the ball. All right, just swing right through it. Yeah, good job. Way to go. Hey, run it out. Okay.
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete in Lincoln and Palmyra. Ready Mixed offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they cover the cost of CDL training. Apply with Ready Mixed Concrete today to be eligible for a $2,500 hiring bonus. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today with Ready Mixed Concrete. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
When it comes to keeping your equipment running, you've got options at Landmark Implement. Whether you need premium John Deere parts or a more economical solution, A&I parts from Landmark deliver the dependable performance you can count on with cost savings up to 40%. From filters and bearings to belts and everyday repairs, A&I parts are built to work as hard as you do while helping stretch your budget further. Stop by your local Landmark Implement parts counter today or shop online anytime at shop.deere.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Some days are for errands, but those days can wait. These are for free Honda demo rides. Test ride the latest Honda Adventure, Sport, Cruiser, and Touring models to find your perfect fit. Try Honda's automatic dual clutch transmission, DCT, for seamless shifting that keeps you focused on the ride. And check out Honda E-Clutch, designed to handle clutch control for stall-free starts and effortless gear changes. Spaces are limited. Visit Rod's Power Sports at 1030 Saltillo Road today to reserve your free demo ride. For your safety, read the owner's manual and always wear a helmet and eye protection. Honda motorcycles are for riders 16 years and older.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln, this is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Coy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts, answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln, your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Hour 3, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, coming at you live, 1040 O Street. All the good things are happening here at 93.7 The Ticket. We are brought to you by Graham Tire of Lincoln, serving the Midwest for 75 years, 4 locations in Lincoln. Look them up, Graham Tire of Lincoln. Great service, great people, and also a great time winning there. Austin's over there on Thursday. Maybe we should do a thing. If you see Austin over there, you get to text in a picture. You get a
take a T-shirt with your name on it.
Yeah, take a T-shirt with your name on it. But
I'm not telling you which location. If you know anything about, I've mentioned the general vicinity in which I live before. So if you can figure out which location I'm going to, take a T-shirt, maybe even a hat can be yours.
Yeah, you might be by the Jon Snow one, King of the North.
Potentially.
Yeah.
But maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe I got errands to run, Jay.
Yeah.
I'm a man about town.
Anyways, a lot has been going on. It's a big NFL draft weekend. Obviously, we talked a little bit about that. Haven't been able to really dive into, Emmett Johnson going to the Chiefs.
What's the difference?
The way he played last year is right on point. But had some breaking news with Sorsby from the Texas Tech quarterback going into rehab. We'll maybe save that for, maybe the second or third segment. But back to Emmett, because it's more important with Emmett and the impact that he's had on Nebraska last year. I think his story is great. Obviously, a local Minnesota kid, dual sport athlete, came down here unheralded or whatever you want to call it, worked himself into, big enough and strong enough to be able to compete. Waited again after he produced. Lucky enough, he had to switch at an offensive coordinator, changing the idea of what a running back needed to be in the offense. And he's off to the races. And he was fortunate enough to get drafted in the 5th round to one of the best organizations and one of the best coaches, offensive staffs, and obviously with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. I don't think you could ever – I'll tell you from experience, I felt like I, went a little bit lower than I'd like. I would say there was looking back on it, there's not another place I'd rather have went than Buffalo. The environment, the locker room, the ability to learn how to be a pro, the opportunity to make a team, obviously, being able to take advantage of my opportunity to be able to excel allowed me to play, a very long career in the NFL. Same can be said for Emmett. Going down to Kansas City, yes, they have Kenneth Walker III. He's a different type of back than he is. But Andy Reid has shown throughout his career, especially in Kansas City, Emmett Johnson's skill set has been very, very effective and successful in Kansas City, along with Patrick Mahomes and Kelce in that offensive system. You look at you remember they had Joe McKinnon, and then they've had they kind of always had they had Kareem Hunt and him, and then they've always had kind of like that fire and ice, thunder and lightning type of combination. Because with Emmett's skill set, right? And we'll talk about what is. Everybody's like, oh, maybe you should have came back. We'll take everybody's opinion as far as the text goes. Keep sending those in as well. Is that with his skill set, it fits well into this modern day NFL, right? He runs big enough that where he can run behind his pads. The Kansas City is going to have a pretty good offensive line, and he's quick enough to be able to really operate in small spaces in between the tackles or whatever. And then when he gets out in the open field, where teams are going to expect linebackers, nickels, safeties to tackle him one-on-one, that's where he's going to prove effective. And he catches really, really well out of the backfield. I think they've done a good job of teaching him how to pass block. Now he's got to get a little bit better in that. I'm going to tell you what, Eric Bieniemy coming back is everything. When you think about everything lining up for Kansas City first, Mahomes second, and, Kenneth Walker and whatever. Emmett's in there as well, a little bit lower in the list. It's all because Eric Bieniemy is back.
But do we trust a Colorado guy to develop a Nebraska guy?
Listen, Adrian, if you haven't seen it, Adrian Peanut, everywhere he's been, he will demand the best out of you. And he will teach him little tools of the trade, how to be a better pass pro guy.
And we know Emmett will respond to that stuff.
Yeah, and he'll respond to it, and he coaches well, or he responds well, and he'll get coached well. And also, he's got a chip on his shoulder, and that's what you want. And so, it's great to have a chip on your shoulder, knowing that you're going to have a viable and successful offensive line in front of you to be able to prove people wrong. And you got Patrick Mahomes, which is going to allow you to have a lot of favorable numbers as far as in the box. And you're going to be in there a lot, especially on second and long, third down, pretty much how the game is played. You're going to be able to be definitely in fantasy football, but also thinking about getting into all rookie. First or second team, especially with the opportunity he has.
The running back room for Kansas City, you mentioned Kenneth Walker, obviously. Brashard Smith, SMU guy. Amari DiMercado, bounced around the league a little bit with the Cardinals, most recently, I believe. Shunderick Powell, hadn't heard that name before, and then Emmett Johnson there. We've said it before, Jay, it's worth repeating. The special teams aspect for Emmett Johnson going to be big, regardless of what team it is he's playing on, which unit. But I do like that fit for that exact reason. He's not the exact same back as Jerick McKinnon, who was probably used a bit more as a receiver out of the backfield than a traditional running back. I think Emmett's got enough juice to run the ball that it's not, oh, this guy's in there, they're automatically going to pass it.
Or it's going to be these type of run play. That's why I'm saying, that's why I think it's such a good spot for him. You only worry about
to start your career off with an education like that.
Yes, but you worry about now. DeMarco Murray technically is the running back coach.
Oh, great, Oklahoma guy.
He came from Oklahoma. Now they picked up, I think the
Jay Knott.
So which is weird because he was the number one running back in the portal and he had like 68 yards.
Well, and there were some not perfectly substantiated, but not all false rumors of Murray and Ott butting heads in Oklahoma.
And then you pick him up.
Yeah.
In the room. And it doesn't affect Emmett directly, but it's an interesting dynamic of a coach to player situation this early in his career. Like I always wonder what could have been.
But isn't it perfect for Emmett Johnson? Like the same sort of thing, you know,
under the radar, kind of like, and you can just focus on football, but you also have to be very aware because of how I always say this to high school kids: how he treats one player, he will eventually treat you the same. Don't think that you're like you're insulated in a bubble. Now, it could be more on Ott. It could be more on DeMarco. It could be 50-50. The fact that you're in a highly intense environment and I'm playing for a coach as far as Ott that essentially cost me a lot of money, or maybe I had something into it, but the situation didn't work out. You got to think this is the same coach that recruited you.
Yeah.
Throughout the portal. Now, how Emmett views that, he's got to get in and get to work and be able to look straight ahead, have that in his peripheral, but then also understand the dynamics of it, all while trying to fit into the system. And so I'm assuming that the communication is going to be clear, and also that Emmett will be able to go in there and kick butt. I mean, it's going to be. I mean, I know they only play one preseason game, but he's going to be doing major work. You got to think he's going to be going against second and third team guys at the get-go when they do inter squad scrimmages and all that. And you're going to have light boxes as far as like how many people are going to be in the box because you got Patrick Mahomes and Justin Fields. So you're going to get favorable matchups. And so the more that Emmett is able to showcase his skills, the more that he's going to eat into those snaps as far as, from the other running backs that aren't the starter, but more or less than into the game plan and being a big factor week in and week out.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for him to showcase in the best of his ability, right? He's not going to be brought in to be the one. He'll be good enough to push Kenneth Walker, absolutely. But I think I tend to like, Jay, the ability to ease into a role when you're in Emmett's position, right? If you're a first rounder, get on the field, contribute. Second rounder, third rounder, maybe. But if you're, you've talked about your own journey, just find your role, find your niche, get good at that. And then at some point, you're probably going to be asked to step outside of that comfort zone. Whether, Kenneth Walker, sprains an ankle or, is taking on a bunch of the workload, just needs a breather. I feel confident that Emmett Johnson will, be able to do at least a credible job with whatever Kansas City wants him to do. Smart kid, saw a lot in college, a lot of different schemes, a lot of different ideas across his time in Lincoln. With a great running backs coach there, like you mentioned. I think it's all lining up for Emmett Johnson to get his career started about as successfully as you could ask.
Yeah, I mean, look, nobody wants to, I guess, fall in the draft or not get drafted, in or around the worst case scenario that, maybe they thought you could have possibly got drafted. But, you're not the first and you won't be the last that has happened to. But also, if it's ever going to happen, you're in a perfect situation. You have a coach that is throughout his coaching career has had players with your skill set that have played a long, long time in the NFL and been very, very successful. And they've all been able to be developed, right? And so that means he'll get better. Emmett will get better. I think the variety of run, like concepts that Nebraska's ran, I think bodes well for him. I think it helped that we played down in Kansas City. I think it helped that, Dawson Merritt is on the team, that you have some kind of, more intel than, say, like even the Chargers or even Denver, because you're here, you're closer. There is some sort of relationship. Terry Braden was here. Now he's back with the Chiefs, so he has some he's back as assistant D-line coach, so he has some like intimate knowledge of these guys. So I think it bodes well for him. And sure, he was a little frustrated, and rightfully so. But I'm gonna tell you this though, from experience, you're frustrated up until you get that call and it all goes away. Now, you do remember the frustration, because in Emmett's mind, and he thinks he knows he's just as good as those guys that went a little bit higher. Now you also have to come to reality. Styles make fights, and styles, of the style of player or plays, they generally pick. And so with Emmett, he just got to go, go do his thing, because he very easily could have been, drafted to a team, that you have no chance of really making a big impact. You could be, drafted, say, like the Buffalo, where they all got James Cook. You're not going to play that much. You're just going to be a breather. We're here, Kansas City, everything goes right with his, and everybody loves a young kid that comes in. I'm telling you, that game makes coaches excited. Behind Kenneth Walker, it is up for grabs.
And hey, now Jackson Mahomes has someone to get on TikTok with.
Oh, I know they'll be all over Kansas City. He'll be able to go get some barbecue there, and so he's got to make sure he doesn't partake too much. But yeah, I know he put out one right away. I'm sure that these kids, that's the way they do it. But the one thing he'll learn is when they get into that building of Kansas City with Andy Reid, it's business all the time. It's not they're about that way.
The NFL's hardest training camp.
Yeah,
so we've been told
notoriously. Even now, even with the rules, you still hitting in Kansas City. It's going to be physical. The one thing I will be interested to see how he gets used to the speed. It's going to be a shock to him. The guys, the ability to get off blocks, the big guys that can move. The ability to tackle in the open space. But I think Emmett will adjust very quickly because he's a competitor. And I think he has enough tools in his toolbox to counter move and be able to, obviously make people miss.
When does he need to have that oh crap moment in realization that this isn't college anymore?
He'll get it in training camp. I mean, when you get into mini camp and you're out there kind of like just in like with little spiders on and all that, that ain't real deal. When you get popped once, when you get popped by a little DB that normally wouldn't be able to hit you, then that'll be like, all right, this is real. Or he gets ran down by like a 260-some pound defensive lineman.
Man.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was, when I saw Jamie Nails, and obviously I saw Ted Washington, and Ted's big like that, but he's on my side.
Right.
So that's great. He's like,
he's not coming for you.
Yeah. Yeah, Ted and Pat Williams and Bruce and all those guys. I saw Jamie Nails, and you got it. And then you start thinking about, when we were in training camp, they would do, you'd be out there 2-on-3. So it'd be 2 defensive players against 3 linemen.
Survive.
Yeah. Or it would be 3-on-3 sometimes. So you're going to hit somebody. And Jamie Nails coming off of their mano-a-mano. There's no fair dodging. There's just like straight up, so,
hum.
Right. And then, when you got to deal with players after that, for him, those holes are going to close up a lot quicker. And when they arrive, it's going to be violent. And so I think he'll get used to it really quick. He's going to work. One thing about Emmett that has over other guys that are on the team, but in the running back room, work ethic.
Yeah.
He loves football. Now, the thing is that he's going to have to realize there ain't going to be much time for dancing.
What if he TikTok lives as his playbook? Crowdsource the studying. I'm kidding. I know he won't do that. Shouldn't even put that out there.
No, it's just not going to be time for it. I mean, because your job is going to be your body. You're going to be your mindset. All that stuff affects you on the field.
He's the one draftee from Nebraska.
Yeah.
Are you surprised they didn't get another one? And how many does Nebraska need to be back? Or on the right track, let's say?
I was hoping for one more. Obviously, we were pulling for Deshaun.
We really were.
Early,
that's never going to see the light of day until next year. But
I was really surprised Sierra didn't go to the combine. Didn't get a lot of love. Obviously, got picked up, and so this year was a little bit different because I think everything kind of was on Emmett, and once Emmett was drafted, they're like, okay, we got Emmett over the because it's a great story, it gives you some validity or whatever. But I think like when you think like Iowa had 7 guys drafted, some other teams that you feel like you're just as good as better at had a lot more guys drafted. I think you got to get to the point to where you're developing and it's going to come across the offensive line, right? And then, so if you're able to have senior group, say you have 4 seniors and 2 of them get drafted, 2 others get picked up free agents. That's a pretty dang good year for offensive linemen, let alone for draft picks. I think you're going to have to develop guys. Guys are going to have to want to be developed. Guys are going to have to stick around and try to be part of the, turnaround winning wise. But I think the more games you win, the more you get the benefit of the doubt. And that, like, for instance, I know Bach was back there. The linebacker that went to Arizona from Iowa he wouldn't start here. But, in Iowa's system, he's very, very productive.
But your Iowa linebacker, you know what you're getting.
Right. You got Jack Campbell and all these guys, Jay Higgins and all these. So you're thought
Jewel.
like, right. So, yeah, Joseph Jewell is still playing. You can just name a plethora of guys. So they're getting the benefit of the doubt. So how do you get the benefit of the doubt? You got to just really focus in here as far as Nebraska and getting guys in here that are putting the team first. And if they're not putting it first, it's right along with their individual goals, and they have got to win. You start winning, when you won 7 last year, you need to win like 7+ this year. Then you're like, oh, Nebraska's cooking with something down there. When you're 4-8, they're just naturally thinking they don't have any talent. And so I think that's where Nebraska needs to get to, 4 or 5 guys, and on a down year, you get 2, and stuff like that. Obviously teams like Ohio State and all that are going to, really always knock it out of the park. But that doesn't mean that you can't have a magical year or, really have, built your program back up by having 3, 4, 5 guys drafted.
There's a guy on Twitter, goes by @CFB_data, does some really good stuff, puts out a lot of interesting graphs and looks at this sort of thing. Over the last 5 years, it's really no shock the programs who've had the most players drafted. Georgia, by far the most, Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, LSU still in that conversation. And this just goes back through the 22 through 26 drafts, by the way. Penn State, Texas, and Oregon. There's a pretty clear top tier. And in the last 5 years, all of those teams have had, he goes by 10, so I'm going to say at least 31 players drafted. So to be a pretty regular college football playoff team, or even make one and maybe have some residual guys, you've had to average 6 draft picks a year for the last 5 years. The tier just below that in the 20 to 30 range, right about 25, you're looking at Clemson, A&M, Oklahoma, Miami. A half step below those guys, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Washington, Iowa, USC, Auburn, South Carolina. I'll throw Missouri and Florida State into that mix as well. So for Nebraska, I think, Jay, let's just say take the next step as a program. Let's say it's an 8-win season is next for Nebraska, and you keep stacking 8-win seasons. Nebraska's got to go from averaging like 1.5 draft picks per year, probably up to like the 4 or 5 range. And I'll show you this. I don't have time to pull it up for everyone on stream. But you see where Iowa's at, winning, let's just call it 8 games a year pretty regularly. They're getting, a few more guys drafted on average. So I think for Nebraska to be a solid 8-win program, you're looking at about 4 guys a year. For Nebraska to get to 10, you're probably in the 5 to 6 range. And then obviously anything past that is, hey, Nebraska is officially back in their cooking.
Yeah, we'll take a quick break, but I'll leave it with you, and we'll both answer this on the way back. Where do the draft picks or the draftees come from? I have my thoughts. You have your thoughts. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. We'll take a quick break, come back, because it's interesting when you look at Iowa, right? And then how do they do it? You look at Georgia, Alabama, where they've done it, and Ohio State. It's the same. It's the same. Old school, Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, buddy, here we go. Just keep your eye on the ball. All right, just swing right through it. Yeah, good job. Way to go. Hey, run it out. Okay.
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Gentlemen, are you ready for something beyond the ordinary haircut? At Scissors and Scotch Lincoln, they blend your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. Sink into a comfy chair, unwind with a complimentary drink, and let their master barbers handle the rest. It's not just grooming, it's an experience. Whether you're prepping for a big meeting, needing to get cleaned up before family comes to town, or just need a little time to yourself, Scissors and Scotch Lincoln delivers sharp style every time. Book now at Scissors and Scotch in Lincoln, just south of 30th and Yankee Hill Road.
In communities like ours, local relationships still matter. At Insight Partners, we believe we are better together. That's why insurance agencies across the Midwest have joined Insight Partners to better serve local customers and communities with all their insurance needs. From personal to commercial or specialty insurance, your local Insight Partners team is here to help protect what matters most. Insight Partners, better together. Learn more at myinspartners.com.
Cinco de Mayo will be here before you know it on May 5th, and Tipsy Tina's is the place to be. Come down to 8th and Q starting at 2 p.m. on May 5th for the Street Festival, featuring piñatas, giveaways, and more. Plus, see llamas from Sweet and Sassy Llama Farm from 5:30 to 7:30. DJ Joe Cruz will entertain starting at 7 p.m. with a spicy taco eating contest at 7:30. And the best part, as always, no cover charge. It's the early Cinco de Mayo Street Festival with Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, Tuesday, May 5th, beginning at 2 p.m. at 8th and Q.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of showers and patchy fog. Otherwise, mainly cloudy and breezy with the high near 59. Tonight, decreasing cloud cover with an overnight low near 40. And tomorrow, a chance of showers throughout the day. Otherwise, mainly cloudy with an afternoon high near 57. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Right now in Lincoln, neighbors are facing hunger and homelessness, and they need our help. Your donation to Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach for Give to Lincoln Day helps provide nutritious meals, safe shelter, and life-changing support. Your gift goes even further thanks to matching funds from the Lincoln Community Foundation. Working together, we can make our community stronger by ensuring that everyone has access to nutritious food and a safe place to sleep at night. Give to Matt Talbot today or anytime through May 28th at givetolincoln.com.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
But we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, second segment, Old School. Once again, we want to thank Graham Tire Lincoln supporting us and allowing us to bring you all the knowledge and or somewhat knowledge and opinions that we like to express, and obviously allowing you guys to express your opinions as well. The question was brought to the airways of how does Nebraska get to consistently 4 or 5 guys drafted? How has Iowa, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, so forth, Bama, Georgia, and all those teams have done it? My answer is the easy answer is this: is you got to develop your first and your lines for sure, offense and defensive line, and definitely your second level. So that your second level, I would view second level on offense. I'll just say tight end and running backs, right? And obviously it's a good start with Emmett, but I think when you can get guys drafted, those late round draft choices and they're able to stick, right, and make a name for themselves is what, you're able to have that in that chart where you're consistently 4 or 5. That's how you consistently, even on a down year, if it doesn't start as well or your offense is struggling, you're always able to lean on that offensive line. Then you're going to have a lot of guys start to get drafted, because of what was set forth prior. So it's a long-term investment on both sides of the ball, which then will make and force your linebackers to be better. I'm sure your safeties and stuff like that would be better. And then obviously you want to hit the jackpot every once in a while with corners, right? Because when you look at Iowa, right, like what has really been their bell cow, right? Tight ends, right? The offense and defensive line, linebackers, recently running backs. And then we knew as far as them corners wise, right? It was Cooper DeJean who started at corner, and then your Riley Moss was out there. Then they had a couple guys. They had King that won the Jim Thorpe Award. Went to at that time the San Diego Chargers, LA Chargers, or whatever they were.
Riley Moss,
right? Riley Moss and DeJean. I mentioned those, and then
remember the time Riley Moss ducked Trey Palmer?
Yeah,
he didn't duck Trey Palmer. I'm kidding.
Well, yeah, you took him on the highway of love, and then he gave him the business. But I'm just saying that's how you're able to do it, to be able to reload, and you might have a year where you have more offensive guys drafted. Well, then that you must have a younger defensive line. Then that will really even things out. So you're gonna have to really focus on the lines, because if you're trying to live and die by the skill guys, that can happen. But skill guys are the ones that are in and out of the portal year in and year out. And so when you mentioned earlier what percentage of guys in the draft were in the portal guys, over one school, 127 or whatever it was, I bet you a high majority was skill position guys, rightfully so. But also that's just it's volatile in those positions, right? And also what people people need to understand, sometimes that's where the most turnover is at that position group coach, right? Say I develop Jay Foreman and Austin Orman here, well then maybe not Ohio State, but maybe Michigan starts calling, or like I get a chance to be a co-offensive coordinator, associate head coach. You're able to kind of level up from there based on your 1 or 2 year production. So, but offensive line guys generally stay for a while. The players generally, whether you like to stay for a while. So we get back to developing guys, whether it's, from the young pups, but then also you got to make sure you hit it on those guys in the portal.
0159 says, keep a coach for more than 5 years and win consistently. They will start to draft themselves. That goes to what you've said, because if you have a coach for 5 years and you're winning consistently, you start to get that pedigree. You start to get that track record.
You get to be known for something.
That's right where I was headed. Identity.
Yeah.
Whatever position it is. I think you're spot on with the lines being helpful, running back, tight end, and linebackers. Absolutely. Nebraska's been pretty decent at putting tight ends in the league, right? You think about, you can go back to the Kyler Reed, Ethan Carter kind of era. Carter got a cup of coffee in the NFL. Down through, Jack Stoll to Austin Allen to Travis Vokolek to Thomas Fidone. They won't get credit for Nate Borkature. We'll see about Lyndon Meyer next year. Sean Beckton did some really great work with tight ends in Nebraska. And so, okay, you can at least say, well, we've done that. If you want to hang your hat on the running back thing, fine, but it's Emmett, and was Devine even drafted? Devine Azigbo back in the day?
No.
Well,
he had a really good year. Amir was drafted.
Right.
And also,
but that's just what I'm getting to then. The identity, right?
Yeah.
You have the tight ends a little bit. You want to claim running backs, whatever. But even like your tight ends, they're not, Kittle, Hawkinson, Laporta, like Iowa's, and that's fine. But whatever it is, just find a position and get them drafted. Obviously the ones you mentioned are ideal. It starts up front. It always has and always will. But if Nebraska gets really good at putting a certain type of tight end in the league, it probably is paying some dividends for Nebraska at the college level as well. So, yes, I mean, if you can bring the best out of guys on either line, that's going to help Nebraska the most in college.
That's the easiest way. And if you talk about, you want to, get tight ends in the league, then you have to make it's an emphasis. Iowa throws to their tight end. They don't have receivers. And so you can't copycat Iowa, and you can't wish for what they have until you do or make it a philosophy change to try to do so. The running back thing, that's just going to come with, identity change. And so, it's all development, man. You got to develop across the lines. The better you're across the lines, the better your second level will be, the better your running backs will be, better your tight ends will be. So it starts and stops with the line. And you got to develop guys. Guys got to, the guy that you got, you guys go recruit, they got to live up to the billing. And, that's where you got to really hit on the portal guys. And then the young guys have to develop at a little bit more rapid pace. Now, you can bring all these different variables into it, the 5-for-5 and all that. That can help with the game experience and all that. But ultimately, the marriage between, the coach, the game plan, the player, everybody's got to pull their 33.3333% in order for it to be 100% positive.
Let me ask you this then, Jay. Let's just for a purely hypothetical example. Let's say that Nebraska starts 5 quarterbacks a decade. Hypothetically. Let's just say it's 5 just for sake of argument. How many quarterbacks is it ideal for Nebraska to get drafted every 10 years?
Well,
if they start 5, hypothetically.
Say 2. There's some good quarterbacks that don't get drafted. Whether you like them or not, like Diego Pavia was a really good college quarterback. He didn't get drafted. So I'd say 2, but in order for that to happen, you have to have a identity or what a quarterback does, what you're known for. You know what I'm saying?
Or elite physical traits.
Yeah. You got like Green
Taylor Green
from Arkansas, 6'6", 220-some pounds, runs he's like a pretty much a bigger, faster version of Vince Young. And that's hard to do. Texas A&M quarterbacks next year, if you're known for that, and it comes into recruiting. You got to recruit kind of the same guy's skill set, unless the outlier of that is so good that you have to adjust to his skill set. So that's really where it goes. It's all the same, right? And you can get guys there. You got to be productive. I mean, it's not all on the coaches to do so. I mean, it's only so much a coach can do and put a weight program together. You got to get, and I guess you got to recruit the players with the right mindset. That's fine. That's great. You got to recruit the players, and then maybe it's more a developmental thing, right? Develop or recruit the players with the right mindset once they get here, because it changes. That's where the guys that can handle, I guess we'll say, success that they haven't earned yet. Meaning, you're getting all the media attention. You're getting anointed since you got here. A big thing to them is the followers and all that stuff on social media. You obviously are over there in the Taj Mahal in the Go Big project, right? And then, if you get NIL and you got a scholarship and all that stuff, but you hadn't played yet. You get what I'm saying? So, that's where, because you might have the players that you're recruiting from, that have the right mindset. Then you get here and then your mind is like, oh man, this is great. I haven't done anything yet. Maybe I just want to keep doing this. That's why guys jump in the portal. I'm getting paid for doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And so that's where you got to make sure you have the guys that are culture setters to really, uphold that. And then that will lead to the field, because once you get on the field, you're looking across the same guy that has the same mindset, and you'll both get better at the same time.
I asked Brian Munson this in the first hour, and there's not an answer right now, and it's not up to us to know the answer, but someone's got to figure it out. Is it that Nebraska is bringing in less talent than we think, or is it that Nebraska has gotten less out of the talent that they're bringing in? Obviously, there's no one answer. Obviously, it's situation by situation. It's some of both. But I think for Nebraska to get back to having, let's call it just the first step in the right direction with 4 draft picks a year over the next 5 years, to put 20 guys in the league between now and 2031 over the next 5 drafts.
That's a lot.
Well, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's a lot for. I mean, where we're going. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for
Where we're at,
essentially 1.5, not
Yeah.
even 2 per
You're
draft.
doubling it.
Right.
And a half.
It's going to take some combination of players and coaches. It's not all on the players,
No.
right? Nebraska's coaching's got to be better, got to be more consistent. It's got to work with the talent Nebraska's able to bring in, but it's not all on the coaches either. If you're a player, own your own future,
Yeah.
own your own development,
Take
and then
that
work
opportunity.
together with your coaches, with your teammates to make yourself better, make each other better. And it just still feels like, Jay, Nebraska is waiting for whether it's that coach, that player, or that group of players who, through luck, through circumstance, through good old-fashioned, elbow grease and determination, break the cycle, right? To say, no, we take it upon ourselves to be better than anyone thought we could. We are the group that's going to exceed expectations and reset that standard. I know that Husker fans are clamoring for that. I think it's obvious based on the NFL draft numbers. We haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of teams are have the same, thoughts and wants, or fan bases, or whatever you want to call it. The players got a tremendous opportunity to change not only their future, their family's future, and the Huskers' future by what they have at their fingertips right now. Coming here, no matter if you're a transfer guy or a freshman, or a guy that's been redshirted and trying to work your way up, there's a tremendous amount of opportunity there to be great. I think the evaluation of, or what they view as great, is a lot less than what it was before. So for me, it's no excuse from the player side. This doesn't mean that you hate the players. Hate, no, I'm just being honest, man. Look, dude, you guys got everything you need to be successful. There is no excuse. And sure, the coaches can only do so much. And sure, what is it? Are we overvaluing our recruiting class like everybody else does, or is it the people that are given the star rankings, they don't know what they're doing, or we're signing guys on, whatever it is, but ultimately, there's just on the face of the earth, right? If you take just Jeremiah Smith, Caleb Downs, Arvell Reese, and Sonny Styles, and Marvin Harrison Jr., and all those guys, right? Just take them here. Just take all those guys that you're like, we ain't seen nothing like that in about 10 years. Put them over there.
Yep.
The rest of college football, everybody's the same. So how do you work that? The one thing I would do might make people's sphincter muscles get a little tight.
What is it with you and sphincter muscles?
Because if you ever been in a high pressure situation,
it gets tight.
You know what it means? You're either gonna dookie or get off the pot.
Okay, sorry, continue. If it's up to you.
And what I would do, I'd move them guys down to North Stadium. Or wait, South Stadium.
South now.
Yeah. See, I'm thinking when it's north. Oh, so you come here and we got this big old locker room here over there for the varsity guys. They earn their stripes. You guys, you down in the South End. Ohio State has the black stripe thing or whatever and all that. Some people like, okay, you get your numbers on your helmet, or what, a name on the back or whatever. That's what I would do.
Simple thing.
Yeah. So listen, it's still here. The access is still here. You're still going to the same meeting rooms. It's still here. So everything that you saw on your recruiting trip is here.
Still out there in front of you.
It is, but it's here. But what it's gonna take to get to here, to the where the varsity's at, oh, it's longer than 100 yards. You get what I'm saying? And it'll be worth it.
Oh yeah, I mean, think back to high school. Isn't that what motivated you?
Right.
Here, okay, maybe not you, but me, someone who's not a prodigy, someone who's not a natural, someone that had to work for it. It's man, I want to get there.
Yeah.
I want to wear that jersey. That's the cool jersey. That's not the hand-me-down. That's not I want that one.
That's exactly what I do. Because in this world, you can't get rid of the Go Big project. You're not going to get rid of the fandom. You get what I'm saying? You're not going to get rid of the pats on the back.
No.
You're not going to get the way that we treat the players really well here. We're not, and you're still getting treated well. But there is a separation here. And there's nothing wrong with that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'll lay out a path that you get there. That path is going to be rocky. It's going to be hard.
Because it needs to be. Because it naturally is.
Because
we
it
can't
has
pave
to be.
it for it.
It kind of has to be. And then that's the way I would do it. That's the best way I could turn it around like that. That's what I would do. And you know what? That South locker room was pretty dang good. I was there before. So you're not like roughing it. Because the reason what I meant about North and South, listen, I came, and this is not about like me or the 90s or anything. But let me tell you something. You talking about motivation? when it's about like into October, a windy day like this, and you got cement floors in there, and you just got out of a cold practice, and you got to really hightail it in there to get the little bit of cold water. And I know Troy, Dana was talking about the urinals and all that, and you got that. And then, you know, if you somehow got to drop a deuce, there's no door on there. Oh, you get motivated.
Real quick.
Mm-hmm. Steel lockers. You know, you get one pair of socks and all
metal
that.
folding chair.
Oh yeah. You don't get another. I think they have wood chairs. I mean, it's humbling, right? But I went to the same.
Not demeaning, not belittling.
It's just humbling, and it's motivating. But listen here, I was at the same meetings. I was in the same like team room. I went to the same weight room. You know what I mean? Eventually, I worked my way down there, and it wasn't instant. You had the red shirt that whole year. So even while I was starting, and once I got earned the starting spot in spring, I still was in the North locker room. You get what I'm saying? All summer, even though I was starting after spring, I still was in the North locker room.
Had to make the trek.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I still was. So when we're doing summer workouts, the guys that have already been playing are going to the right. I'm going to the left. All through two-a-days, I'm still in the North locker room until, you know, we broke camp, and then you get blessed to go in there. It made it worth it because there's at times you're like, okay, if Austin's starting, you go to the NFL. Why? Well, there's a locker spot open. No, it's not, because you ain't earned it yet, right? And there's different parts in the locker room. You know, you kind of got. I was kind of got, you know, two lockers. I was on the end. You know, at first in the mid, and when I first got in there, I was in the middle. I was right next to Aaron Penland and all those guys. And then as I became a little bit more established player, senior player, I was able to kind of be there on the end. Jason and Grant was there on the kind of straightforward. That's the pecking order that has to go on. You know what I mean? That's the way I would kind of do it.
It's the food chain.
Right. But that will show instantly on the field. If I want to eat off your plate, okay? If I want to eat off your plate, you'll see me in practice. The whole intensity in practice. And I would regulate as a coach. This isn't a demeaning where you're down here. No. You just got to earn your stripes. If you want to get in there, go eat off his plate. And I would just sit back and just watch the madness.
You got to tell that to my toddler. He likes eating off my plate.
I know. Hey, let me ask.
And he's a smart kid. He's cute. I love him. Dang, man.
How much faster do you eat now that you're a parent?
Not much.
Not much?
It hasn't sped me up yet. JJ, I'm calm, cool, collect. I don't get sped up by the moment. I don't get sped up by the toddler. I play at my own pace.
You do?
Yeah, I'm a point guard at heart.
You that
I
guy?
control the tempo.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good for you. Boy, I was a speed racer. You know what I mean? Because I'm too busy, because God forbid that, they don't eat all the, I don't know, whatever it is that we give them, all that slop.
The kid's into cucumbers now.
Yeah. That's a good choice. You got to put some.
Shout out his mother for that. He did not get that from his father.
A little lemon pepper on there, do him some good. We'll take a quick break, come back. We'll still talk about this. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for something different for lunch or dinner in Lincoln? Big 8 is now open at 1226 P Street, serving seafood boils and Asian cuisine. Get your hands messy with fresh, flavorful seafood boils, hot, cold, and made to share. Or enjoy classic Chinese and Asian dishes, perfect for lunch, dinner, or a night out with friends and family. Big flavors, generous portions, and a brand new dining experience. Big 8, now open in Lincoln.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, buddy, here we go. Just keep your eye on the ball. All right, just swing right through it. Yeah, good job. Way to go. Hey, run it out. Okay.
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
Some people are looking to buy their very first home. Others are looking to build. And some are refinancing to make what they have work a little better. But the one thing they all need? A personal guide through the mortgage process. At Pinnacle Bank, our local lenders work closely with you to find the right kind of loan and the best rates possible. Because every path home deserves someone by your side. Find your lender today with Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
I'm Dr. Jeremy Hosai, candidate for the University of Nebraska Board of Regents. Husker athletics has never been stronger. Let's champion the same mindset across our entire university: academics, research, and opportunity. As a neurosurgeon, former regent, and proud Husker, I'm running to stand up for NU's future because this matters to my family and yours. On May 12th, vote Dr. Jeremy Hosai for regent, for our students, for our future, and for Nebraska.
Seems like just the other day, I was building my first house. I've seen many changes to our building market in Lincoln. It's been a fun road.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, we hear this a lot where I don't want to live in a cookie cutter home. Well, let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. One thing that we started doing early on was we started building neighborhoods. I'm a firm believer in character in your street and in your neighborhood. I like choice. I like variation. I like maybe something a little bit different in a neighborhood that you don't see in every neighborhood. I think it's great to have choices, its uniqueness, and I think that's what gives a neighborhood character. And I think that's what we've done over the years.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
Gentlemen, are you ready for something beyond the ordinary haircut? At Scissors and Scotch Lincoln, they blend your old-school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. Sink into a comfy chair, unwind with a complimentary drink, and let their master barbers handle the rest. It's not just grooming, it's an experience. Whether you're prepping for a big meeting, needing to get cleaned up before family comes to town, or just need a little time to yourself, Scissors and Scotch Lincoln delivers sharp style every time. Book now at Scissors and Scotch in Lincoln, just south of 30th and Yankee Hill Road.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Cinco de Mayo will be here before you know it on May 5th, and Tipsy Tina's is the place to be. Come down to 8th and Q starting at 2 p.m. on May 5th for the Street Festival, featuring piñatas, giveaways, and more. Plus, see llamas from Sweet and Sassy Llama Farm from 5:30 to 7:30. DJ Joe Cruz will entertain starting at 7 p.m. with a spicy taco eating contest at 7:30. And the best part, as always, no cover charge. It's the early Cinco de Mayo Street Festival with Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, Tuesday, May 5th, beginning at 2 p.m. at 8th and Q.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. Quick segment. Good talk here with Emmett Johnson, what it takes and stuff like that. It just takes a iron will. It just takes a tremendous amount of focus. You're close, you're a lot closer than you were before. You won 7 games. Now you got to be able to do that, win 7 games, but then also when you play the it teams, right? That's where you really measure yourself, and that's where you got to really up the standard. That's where the players got to take some accountability, what they're going to be okay with. And that standard, does not start Saturday morning or whenever you're about to play Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
It is set forth right now, obviously through the summer workouts and stuff like that. You have a chance to really reshape your team. And then also, like the big time players have really got to step up big and go play. And the quarterback position is really hard because there's so much turnover. You can be a really good college quarterback and not get drafted because it's all about potential. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't noticed, and it's about fit and what very rarely do teams get it right.
Mm-hmm.
That's why there's so many guys continue to cycle through there. So I think all the other positions besides quarterback is ones you need to focus on to try to get up to that 4 or 5 potentially drafted year in and year out.
0159 says very similar along those lines. Jay, I like your playing, but kids nowadays expect everything to be handed to them. This is coming from someone who's at the beginning of the era of the participation trophies. They don't like something, they hop in the portal, they look for a better place. You need to get rid of the portal or limit the moves.
Bye. Holler at a play when you see him in the street. Because I do understand that type of mindset. And then it's like, okay, well, then you got to go and do that. But ultimately, once you start winning and you do things right, that will lessen.
And regardless of right now, right, if you don't know how it's going to turn out, whether it goes well for you or poorly for you and you end up fired in 3 years, whatever, you have to have some conviction in your process.
Right.
And believe that the players that stick it out are the ones that are actually bought in, culture, fit,
you'll win with
all
those
that.
guys.
Right. If the system's as good as you think it is. Now, if the system's not as good, maybe you need some readjustment. It's never as cut and dry as, players that stay good, tough, get it. Players that leave bad, soft, don't get it. Sometimes it just doesn't work out for the right reasons or the wrong reasons. But if you don't have any conviction in your process, you're not sure if it's going to work, then you'll have some more of those guys that are, I'm not sure about this, kind of waffling, leaving instead of, I'm not ready for this. I'm not mature enough for this, or viewing it as coaches treating me too hard. But on the flip side, it turns into, hey, I am built for this. It's tough. It's what I signed up for. Coach is coaching me hard. I knew that's what I was coming
Yeah,
here for.
there's just a couple points there before we obviously finish, is that you can be really convicted. Your conviction can be at the all-time high when you treat the players right. There's a lot of coaches, especially at the high school level, that have so-called conviction, but they treat the players like crap. That's where you'll have guys that won't believe in you, that will leave and all that. Now, there's some guys that just like I was predestined to leave. That's just who they are, right? And that's fine. But if you're treating the guys right and you could be hard on them and you're being fair, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, right? And that's from Coach McBride, Coach Osborne. Hard on us, be fair. Your conviction will win out. Your players will have more conviction. That's what happens. And then and so, that's where I feel like Nebraska, those kids are treated real well. You just have to change up a little bit. Surprise. Hey, look, we already went in the dorms. So look, you can go stay at your nice little apartments. Bro, you got to earn it to get in there. It's got to be a straight up dogfight to get in there, because that will show on the field. That will show up on the lines. That will show up in the first and second level on defenses. That will allow the competition where you're essentially rinse and repeat, and it's on autopilot. The standard will be when you walk through those doors at Nebraska, this is what you're in for.
You might not know what you're in for as a freshman. It might sound good. It might sound tough, but
until you see it, then you'll figure it out. And and that's just my suggestion. But also, you need some players that are willing to welcome that as well.
Just need the AD to give Coach Foreman at least 4 years to make sure it works. Give him a full class, right? Well, patience goes a long way for these coaches with conviction.
Hey, man, those press conferences will be off the hook. Just me and Sip, I'll be like, man, what you want?
Jay Foreman's buyout, 120% of the contract.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, appreciate you listening. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School. We'll holler at you tomorrow.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNT